Good morning.
Hello, welcome
Yay,
to
day
day
3.
whoop, whoop, whoop. And just
It's
so you guys know,
graduation day.
that's what I was gonna say. Graduation day. And here's this
So
for you.
Amber and I, we dressed up. We took off our camo today and we wore our Global GEG shirts because it's
Yes, and I
graduation.
gotta shout it out really quick, but Stephanie Carter, this hair is for you. This hair is for you.
So we just wanted to say welcome to day 3. If you've been with us for days 1 and 2, we just want to say thank you so much for being here this whole time. My name is Stephanie Rothstein, and my role is a TOSA, a teacher on special assignment at my school in California, in Northern California. I also chair a project-based learning pathway. And I help support teachers and students with educational technology integration. All of our Twitters are here, but we just want to say hi, and we're coming to you from all around for our final day of day 3, and I'll let Amber introduce herself.
I am Amber Trout. You've seen me all these days, and I am an instructional coach in Fountain Fort Carson district in Colorado. I work with our 6 through 8, and I work with our online digital academy. So I'm glad to be here, and it is definitely early where I am, so I'm a little bit sleepy today.
It's earlier where I am.
Oh, that's
So,
true.
but one note as we move forward, just remember you can always pause. I know this is live, but if you needed to, you could pause. You could take a break. You can know that you can rewatch things. This presentation is going to be going into some details. We'll get to those in a second, but just know that there's a decent amount of detail here, and you can always rewatch it. So please don't feel like if something is moving at a pace that might be too fast, or one day you want to speed it up, you can do either of those. Going back during a rewatch, you can speed up or slow down, whatever you need. Okay, and we'll keep going there, Stacy, for everybody. Stacy is awesome. Okay.
Oh, I forgot. Bitmoji magic. We did that.
I'm so proud of us, Amber. Okay, so this was a moment of glory. If you've been with us for boot camp, people have been putting up these Bitmojis throughout as thank yous on Twitter or saying different things. And last night we had an epiphany. We were like, we have to put these on our slides and show people that we too want to learn and grow. So I think just like everything that we're asking of you here in this boot camp, we too, anything that people are sharing, we're like, we want to learn that. So it's about continuous growth. And so we are so grateful that you're here. Great job. That is steps 1, 2, 3, being here on day 3. And today's presentation is going to take you through, as our little Bitmojis are pointing, Global is taking you through a lot of things. We've got Classroom, we've got Keep, we've got YouTube, we've got Sites. I think I'm missing one. Am I missing? Oh, and groups. How could I forget that? I was blocking myself there in groups. So sorry. But notice we're in camo. We were very proud of ourselves being able to figure that out.
Getting us in those outfits took us a lot longer than we'd like to admit, but we got it.
We did it. We did it. And yeah, your hair looks great too. Just in that too. Yeah, it looks great in your Bitmoji is all I'm saying. All right. Go for it, Amber.
We also have office hours coming up, our last and final office hours on Monday. We have the session in the morning and the session in the evening. So don't forget, if you need final help just to get you ready and prepared for your test, come to office hours on Monday in the morning or the afternoon, either or.
Perfection. Don't forget that our website has a ton of resources for you. So if you're wanting some step-by-step guides, or you're wondering what are the specific resources that would help me, there are a few places. So if you're on our bootcamp website and you go under level 1, there it says day 1, 2, 3. So I would recommend clicking on the specific day for which you're looking at resources. You will be able to see there on that bootcamp website, you'll see the video of today, or if you went back to day 2, you'd see the resources. So you'd see this actual presentation. We get a lot of questions around where can I get the presentation, since it has actual links in it. And then below it, there would be any additional things that you might need. So some of the resources that are shared out, there might be some standalone links that would be really helpful. And we've got a ton of things. We also have people who have been putting together awesome wakelets. So we're starting to add all the things that you've been sending us to those places. So go ahead and go there. You'll also find this presentation in the description of YouTube once we're all done. I hope I didn't steal that thunder from you, Amber.
No, you didn't. You're good. All right. Just so you guys know, you are getting more than just a participation award for this. You are getting grad credit. So please make sure that you check that out. You can do your Wakelet and you can get grad credit for that. You do get a certificate at the end of each one of these so that you can use those for professional development hours in your districts, depending on which districts you're in. But just make sure that you know that you can get grad credit. You can have those PD hours. All of those things are available to you during this boot camp. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we want to give some shout outs. We've had some, oh my gosh, you all are amazing on all different forms of social media. You're amazing. So loved it, loved it. Tip Tuesday for Global GEG. Yeah, we were getting so many great tips. So if you're not already on any of the social media accounts, please get on there, post today. But please know that there are so many shout outs that are happening there. And we just want to say thank you. Thank you, Kristen Cox. Thank you so much. Great job.
Oh, runway.
I'm so proud of this one, Amber.
This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay. Code graduation day, even though
don't mind Amber's head blocking the GR and the A. It's worth it.
Okay, so I'm going to tell it to you. Graduation day. That's what you type in. That's what you need to get in there so you can do your own runway walk because you are almost done.
Yes. Yeah, I was saying to Amber, I'm like, can you feel me strutting? Yes. Okay. All right. And so our another challenge, we've been loving seeing your sketch notes. And just so that you're aware, this prompted us to actually have a session coming up in Global GEG on sketchnoting. So we can't wait for that, but sketchnote your post. If you haven't done that before, that's basically drawing out what you're seeing and helping us follow your thinking in a visual way. And there were lots of people. Some people were doing those on the computer. Some people are doing them by hand. Some have more writing, some have more drawing. It's up to you. They're notes that are useful to you. And then you share them out and then we love you for it. So whatever is most useful for you is the way that you should do it. And you get 100 points for that. There's lots of things happening with that leaderboard today. Ooh, ooh. So it's fierce on there. So yeah, let's get yourself on that leaderboard.
Yeah.
What should people do?
And of course, your bonus points. You got to get those bonus points too. Take a selfie, right? Yep. Take a selfie.
Yeah, maybe I should do that right now, Amber.
Oh, you should. Oh my gosh, that's a really great idea.
This is my first time actually being able to participate in this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay. So we take your selfies, share your excitement for boot camp, just like we are, and what session you're most looking forward to today. Tag your friend, tag us, tag whoever to get those 50 welcome bonus points because it is your last chance for that right now. So get the selfies going. Oh, come on. Feel the thunder over here.
We'll go back one slide. Okay. But we won't kick Abbott out. We're all good. So a couple little reminders because some people we know officially our next session, which we're super excited for, is coming on in about 5 minutes. So as we are waiting, what I would love to have you type in the chat is, has there been anything, you can do one of two questions. So what have you learned most from in days 1 and 2 is one option. And the second option is, what are you most looking forward to learning here in day 3?
Yes. I also saw a question in the chat and I wanted to clarify that because I said Wakelet, but there is other options. I'm sure that I've seen that on there. I can't tell you exactly. I think it's like Flipgrid and some other things, but there's other opportunities for you to get grad credit other than just Wakelet.
For sure.
Please make sure that you look at it and see which one you're comfortable with. And it might not be Wakelet. That's okay.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Amber is correct. I was going through because Randall, who oversees it, and we are so grateful to him, he's been sharing with us some best of so that we understand what learning has been happening. And I am so impressed. We were watching a few people's Flipgrids and their reflections, and I was learning from their reflection. So if you're better at talking it out the way that we are here, that's an option too. for sure. So you're just talking through what it is that you're learning and you're creating videos. Some people like to create collections. Some people are doing screenshots of things. So there's a variety of ways that you can earn credit. I don't think that the process itself is what would keep you from doing it. So if it's something that you are interested in, there is a ton of options. Thank you, Becky.
Yes, thank you, Becky.
Yes.
I saw this and I was like, yes, she's telling us what we have.
Okay, so people are coming in there. People are saying they want to learn everything. People are also saying that they're looking forward to. We've got keeps and sites, and then shout out from days 1 and 2 for a few people. So for lots, I should say. Lots of people were saying that they learned a ton from documents. They learned a ton from calendar and sheets and Gmail. And so all of those. So shout outs for the last few days. But I think that elusive keep, like for people, it might be newer. So that one tends to be something people are asking a lot about keep. Thank you to people who did sheets, but they're looking forward to all of these today. Groups, sites, they said learning about Explore was amazing. I agree. That Explore button, it changes your whole life. It really does.
So good.
Yeah, people are looking forward to Classroom. So I'm so glad. I think everything that we're talking about today has been shouted out in some way, for sure. And, for me too, as far as Keep goes, it wasn't always something that I was using. And as I've grown in this global GEG community, I've noticed more and more people are using it in such creative ways that I went, wow, I didn't really realize I could use it like that. So it's been a feature I've continued to look at for how to explore as well. Jennifer gave a shout out to Sheets. I'm sorry, Amber, go right ahead.
Yeah. Let's look at this comment from John. I am so awed by him. I have learned that the confidence to pass the exam is within me. Each presenter has instilled this into me over and over. Session 3, how to be more dynamic with Google Slides. But how awesome are you, John? Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that comment almost made me cry, Amber.
So good. I just saw it. So good.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one. And I would say, you know what? Exactly what he was saying is right. That's our hope. And we're not saying that the second you're done watching this, you're ready to go take it. I think you could be. But the second you're done, it might just be that now you have the confidence to review, do everything that you need, and sign up. And that's why we're here, is to encourage you to do it, because half of it or more is actually signing up and taking the test. I think we psych ourselves out for all of these things, for everything.
Another one from Leslie here that says that she is not afraid of Google Sheets anymore, that she is confident now with this training, which
yay! Can you feel Luis dancing in the background from that comment? I feel it. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, this is a great one. Yeah, because, I never called it the Omnibox. So I learned on day 1 that was called the Omnibox because it can do so many things. So I learned about how the Omnibox works. It's such a powerful tool, being able to type in the Omnibox to begin a new doc, sheet, slide. It's at times, I love that. Love that. And just, I would say some of the intimidation is even around terminology, right? Like not knowing what something is called, and then when they reference it on the exam. So I think people are feeling more confident because now we're all speaking a similar language, the language of the test, and we know the way that it's being described.
Here's this shout out to Georgina, because she is so amazing. Shout out to Georgina for tips and for her fabulous sketch notes, because seriously, that lady is like a Wonder Woman. She's putting together videos. She's typing in things in a completely different time zone than all of us.
Yes. Virginia asked how to make those dancing emojis. So we'll, if you go back and watch Jen's session on Bitmojis and how to Bitmoji Fun, you can get some tips on that, and we'll be happy to replay that. I also had, in our last 10 seconds, hi to Yukiko. She's from my school. I'm so happy to see you. And she was really excited about people being on all of our social accounts. So a great community. We're here to welcome you. If you have questions, type them. And then there'll be that other session Monday if you have more. And we're here to welcome our next speakers. And we're so excited. So let's get on to that next slide. Let's not keep anybody waiting. Yeah, here we go.
Woo! We have the amazing Georgina and Robin with us today, as you guys were just talking about Georgina. So here she is. Without further ado.
Take it away, awesome ladies. Bye, all.
Good morning, Googlers, or good afternoon, depending on your time zone. How are you doing today, Robin?
I'm pretty good, Georgina. How are you doing today? Actually, is it like evening by you yet, or are you still afternoon?
We're coming into sunset soon. We're just after 4 p.m. and we are dealing with the whole Google Global GEG launch party hangover. Who else is having Global GEG hangover? Shout out in the chat, guys. We are in it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, it was an awesome event last night, but I'm really excited to do Classroom today. And I think, Georgina, you and I have the best session going today for a number of reasons. Number one, because you're here. And number two, because everybody loves Classroom and now everybody wants to know Classroom. So we are lucky. So go ahead and take it away, lady.
Awesome. So let's go ahead then and roll through Google Classroom. So please shout out in the chat while we are going through if you are a Google Classroom user and it is not your first day of Google Classroom, what is your favorite use of Google Classroom? Because sharing is caring at Global GEG. Okay, so first slide here is our information. If you would like to connect with Robin or myself, there's our information. I am a Google certified trainer along with Robin, and I'm working in Jordan in Amman, and Robin, you are in?
I'm right around the corner from you. We're like this far away from each other. I'm in South Florida. I have the GEG South Florida region. I am actually a teacher, unlike some people, but more like most others. I'm a classroom teacher. I'm in the classroom all the time, but I got my certification to train because I really wanted to help other teachers out there.
And that is totally what it's all about. I love that, Robin. So if you'd like to reach out with either of us or with our GEGs, you're welcome to connect that way. Okay, who's ready to get started with Google Classroom? So we have a lot of comments coming in the chat, people using them to share class resources, to communicate. I love this. One person, Kathleen, says she keeps everything and everyone engaged and organized. And this is really the big thing about Google Classroom. So the first thing we want to talk about actually is why we would want to use Google Classroom. So make sure you're following along in the chat and checking out all the reasons that those Googlers are throwing in there, because it is all about communication, collaboration, creativity, and really empowering your students with the learning tools that they need in one place. So Google Classroom is a super duper easy user interface, means that it's really easy for students and teachers to use, whether you've been a Googler for decades, like some people, and whether it's your very first day. It's really easy to pick up. So it's a one-stop shop, I guess you could say, of all the things that you can do to take your physical classroom and turn it into a super exciting digital environment. So an online virtual classroom. It makes it a streamlined process. And everything is accessible from Google Classroom through Google Drive as well. So that means that everything that you create with your students, next slide, please. Everything that you create with your students, you'll be able to, and they will be able to access through their Google Drive. So we're going to show you today over the next few minutes how you can create your classroom, how you can set it up, and all the reasons why you would want to walk away and go and use this in your classroom. Of course, also to help you through the level 1 exam. So let's get started, Robin.
Absolutely. I'll share with you my screen so that we can do it live, so everybody can kind of see how it's done, but you can also see our slides, and those are really just to be used as quick reference points. So getting started, where is Google Classroom? Because I thought to myself, once everybody went by the wayside, so to speak, because of COVID, it's like, how can I have a classroom if I don't have a classroom? So the easiest way to access Google Classroom, 2 ways that you can do it. You can either find it from your Gmail, and I will show you that now. Let me just share my screen. Or not.
And I love that, Robin. I love how Google is so awesome. I know we mentioned it in day 1 and day 2, how Google is always offering us so many options, right, to get the same thing done. And so you can pick and choose your favorite way to access this amazing G Suite application, Google Classroom. Okay, go ahead and show them the goods, Robin.
All right. I like to access it through my Gmail. So here I have my Gmail open. And just as a side note, I know that some people were complaining that the mouse wasn't big enough. So I decided to pick Florence the Flamingo, and she is going to be our cursor for today so that we can all see it, because we all know that flamingos don't live in Florida. So anyway, when you're trying to access Google Classroom, you can
Robin,
come up here
I'm so
to...
excited because we don't have flamingos here in Jordan either. Can we get some love in the chat, please, for Florence the Flamingo? I mean, come on. If this is not the best session you have seen at the Global GEG Bootcamp because of Florence the Flamingo, I would like to know. All right, let's show them, Robin.
All right, so if we click on the waffle, you'll see here that you have all of your options. You all already know that by now because we had awesome people earlier in bootcamp show us that. So you would click on Classroom, or you can just simply go up to your Omnibox and type in classroom.google.com, and that will take you also. So let me go back to my little bootcamp classroom that I started. And what we're going to discuss first here is how to create your classroom. When you first go to Google Classroom, if you don't have any classes set up at all, you need to set one up. The easiest way to do that, the only way to do that, is to come up here, you click the plus sign, and you're either going to join a class or create a class. And in this instance, we are going to create a class. I did jump ahead just a little bit and created this one for us today, just as a management tool so that you can see, we can all interact with how this is going to happen. So once you create your class, you've given it a name. And even if you want to give a little description about what your class is, either for your students or for parents or from whomever it is that you're gearing it towards, you can add that as well. Next up, we want to make it look nice. How many classroom teachers do we have out there that have no posters on the wall? None. Everybody, every teacher, there's this innate sense of creativity. So we need to make it personal. We need to, as I like to say, preticize it. The way you do that is it's easy. You just click on select theme. And Google already has all of these amazing banner styles that you can use. I like to, because this is a global group, I'd like to pick this particular one because we've got flags of various nations, but you can pick anything you want. And as a side note, and this is something that I probably shouldn't say online, but in the past, I'll be honest, because I've used Google Classroom forever, you kind of have your favorite classes. So I kind of gave those a really pretty picture. And then you have those other classes that maybe not your favorite. You're like, okay, I'm going to just give them this picture. And then you move on. So then after that,
we have a comment in the chat about the cursor. People are really excited about Florence the Flamingo, Robin. And so we just wanted to make sure we shout out that as awesome and cool and pink as Florence the Flamingo is, your cursor change is not on your level 1 exam. Okay, so we will drop the link for you in the chat that if in case you would like to have some creativity with different cursors, but definitely that part is not part of the L1 exam. Okay, so we just wanted to clarify that.
Right. I just did it because I know that there were some comments early on from day one that cursors were too small and it was kind of hard to follow. So I just wanted to make it as loud and obnoxious as I am. So here we go with Florence the Flamingo. Okay, next up, if you see this little gear icon up here, when you click on the gear icon, it gives you the ability to really customize what it is you want to do with your classroom. Now, keep in mind, too, that Georgina and I, we both have been using Google Classroom, and we know so many fabulous ways to use it, but we want to keep it condensed, and we really only want to focus on those things that you're going to find on the exam. So as far as all of the things that you see here on the screen, the things that you can change and add in, for the most part on the exam, you will probably not have to worry about the grading and the grade calculation. I don't know, I've never seen the Guardian summaries, but just know that this is here. Know that if it asks you on the exam to put in a class description, again, the way that you do that is you just simply click on the gear icon, and that will give you the ability to customize everything.
It's
All right,
such a
Georgina.
great way too. It's such a great way too to be able to engage and personalize it with your students. So I know, especially when we
Yes.
started into distance learning, we had like competitions to see which student wanted to have the most creative classroom banner for the Google Classrooms that we had, and then they changed those out. And so there are loads, as Robin said, ways of creativity that you can use with this simple Google Classroom application to engage with your students. Just remember that we are only covering the basics today for the L1 exam, but as Robin's, showing you through the screen, keep in mind that there are loads of ways you can create with that.
Definitely. So now we're up to adding co-teachers and adding students. So I can navigate the screen, Georgina, if you want to just talk us through that.
Awesome. And so now what we want to do is we need to have people to engage with in classrooms. So what we'll do first is we will go to the People tab. And at the People, you'll see there are 4 tabs at the top of the Google Classroom. So at the People tab, this is where all of the members of our virtual Google Classroom will be located. And so in order to add a teacher, we're going to do student or teacher first. Let's do teacher first. Okay, let's click on add. The plus button is a little person with a plus. Yep. And then we'll type in the email address for the person that you would like to add. And again, this is the first way that you can add students. There are a couple of ways, so we'll get to everything. So you're going to type in the email address of the teacher that you would like to co-teach with, and you click on the address, and then you would click invite. And that teacher, what's going to happen is they are going to receive an email invitation. So for example, I'm in my email on my another window. Robin, if you want to flip to the slide deck, you can show them the screenshot we already put in there. And then I'm going to click on the word join in my email, and it automatically adds me to the classroom when I click the blue accept button. So here is the screen that to show you the different windows that you're going to get. So that one on the left that's blue, you'll see there that I've clicked accept now, and now I'm in Robin's Bootcamp Google Classroom. So if you want to go back to the Google Classroom, you'll see then you might need to, there we go, that my name has now fully populated and it's not gray anymore. So that means that I have successfully been added as a co-teacher. So let's go ahead and show them also what it is to be added as a student, Robin. So we're going to go ahead and click the plus button next to the human icon, and we'll enter the email address. And just so that you know, you can only be a student or a teacher in a classroom. You can't be both users in a single classroom. And so what Robin's going to do is she's going to remove me now from the co-teacher, and she's going to add me as a student. And then once she adds me as a student, it's going to be the exact same way, and I will receive an email. Now, there are a couple of things in the classroom, in the chat, the YouTube chat, asking about email groups, asking about administrations. So as a G Suite administrator for the school that I'm working at, I can let you know that there are other ways of doing that, but you don't need to know those for the L1 exam. So because we're here just to support people with the steps that they need, the information that they could be asked questions on the exam, we'll just stick to that. But absolutely in office hours or after the chat, if you would like to know how there are other ways that we can add students in bulk to Google Classrooms, we are more than happy to help answer those. Okay, guys, so we'll just stick to the basics for today. Okay, and we do see that our other Global GEG fellows are in there helping us out with the chat questions as well. So thank you for that. Okay, so Robin has added me as a student now to the Google Classroom.
And what's the other way to add students in the Google Classroom, Georgina, aside from a direct invite?
Absolutely. So Florence Flamengo is on the ball today, guys, and he is pointing directly at that beautiful class code in the Google Classroom banner. And so G Suite has given us a super simple way. So at the beginning of distance learning, or if you're in a physical environment inside the classroom, you can populate that class code on your screen and ask your students when they go to classroom .google.com, they can actually click the plus button and they can click join instead of actually clicking on create. When they click join, they can then enter that classroom code and it will take them into the Google Classroom. So I love it. G Suite is always thinking about what is the best way for teachers. But what I love about G Suite, again, is their flexibility to meet needs of different users. So depending on how your school has decided to set up your Google Classrooms, they've given you a variety of ways. That's a great point, Robin. Thank you. Robin, what should we show them next?
Florence was just telling me that there's a secret code.
Is it time for the secret code, Florence?
Check that out.
Who's ready for the secret code, guys? Oh, the chat is popping. Oh no, it's an awkward moment.
What's the code again?
Uh-oh.
I don't know. When I have Google Classroom and I'm showing my kids like how to join, they're like, oh wait, Ms. What's that code again? What's the code again? Well,
yeah, what is that
I'm sorry.
code
What's the code? What's the code again? Okay.
Gosh,
so,
this is really awkward, and I see Florence is in there. Maybe we should ask Florence. Florence, any ideas? Okay. All right. Well, we'll get back to that. So what's the code again? And back to Google Classrooms with Florence.
All right, now we're going to talk about how to communicate with your students as well as how to create assignments with your students, because on the level 1 exam, there's a very, very good possibility that you will be asked to create an assignment. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to your classwork page. And you'll see here, I don't have anything assigned yet because this is a brand new Google Classroom. I wanted to start from scratch with you. And there are a number of options. When you click on Create, for me, because I have some extensions installed, you won't necessarily see the exact same things that I have, and that's okay. You will all have the same basics that I have. And the two things that I want to discuss with you today are assignment and quiz assignment. So when you click on Create, and you want to create an assignment, you just click on Assignment. You'll give your assignment a title. If there are specific instructions that you need your students to follow, you would put them in this box. And then here comes one part that you really need to make sure you're specific. There are two really important things here. This is one of them. When you click on Add, this is your ability to add an actual assignment in there that you've already created. If you have created your assignment in Google Drive, you can pull it right out of Google Drive. If the assignment needs to take students to a specific link on the web somewhere, you just insert a link. If you're still keeping a lot of your assignments or your documents downloaded onto your particular computer, then you would hit File. And it's really sweet now, too, that you can link in directly from YouTube if you want your students to watch a video as an assignment. So if I click on Google Drive, you'll see that it'll take me to this particular screen, which shows everything that I have in my drive. And for the purposes of our demonstration today, I don't have a whole lot in there, of course. So I'm going to just pick on this PDF. You can upload anything that's in your drive. And when you click on Add, you'll see here, this is the assignment. Now, another super important thing that you need to remember, both in real life and also for the exam, is you have options. Google loves to give you options, and it's great to have options. The important thing is to remember when those options are available. So when you click here, it's can view file, can edit file, or make a copy. And I'm going to go through this part very quickly because you're not going to be asked specifics on this, but I want you to understand what they all mean. When you click on view a file, it's exactly what it says. The student's going to see it on the screen. The student is not going to be able to interact with it. Maybe you just want them to read something, you're flipping your classroom, you need them to be prepared for tomorrow. Here, read this and come in prepared. That would be
I
view.
love that, Robin.
Edit.
And so maybe we can ask people in the chat what would be super good examples of when you would ask or when you would share learning materials or spaces where it would be view only. So if you have some really good ideas to our audience out there of when you would use view only resources in your Google Classroom, please drop those in the chat, because remember, sharing is caring.
Okay, then we have students get edit file. Have to be really careful with this, because this means that you're putting your original document in there and every student who has access to it can change it. But it's a great option for collaboration. If you need kids to put their thoughts, their pictures, whatever it is, the assignment that you're doing, edit. Make a copy for each student is exactly what it sounds like. It's like you just ran off copies on the copier and you're giving a copy to every single student. Student can interact with it and it won't interfere with the original version. Your original version will still be clean. Once you decide what you're going to do with that, then you can come up here and decide if you want to assign it right now or if you want to schedule it for a later time. Again, great uses for all of these things, not necessary to know all of the uses for the exam. Or you can just save it as a draft because you're not quite ready to post it yet. You can choose which classes you want to send it to, your points, topics. You can create a topic for it to fall under, but we're not going to get into that quite yet. And then once you're ready, you just simply assign. And here you see under your assignments, that is the assignment that I just put in there. And then I think if Florence is talking to me through my AirPods, so I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Florence just said that we had another code.
Is Florence back with another code?
I think so, because we just went through how to assign assignments, and this has come up. Wait,
wow.
Who's got Hogwarts up there?
Who's got Hogwarts up there? Florence, did Florence go to Hogwarts? Wow.
Florence did not go to Hogwarts. Oh, there. Oh. Okay, we got Florence back. So sharing is caring. That's such a cool code. That's very Georgina. Georgina loves to share.
Guys, make sure we're down to like about 8 minutes before we're passing it over to the next people the next Googlers who are going to come and share the next G Suite spot with you. But please do drop in the chat your favorite way to collaborate with your students in Google Classroom. Okay, what is your favorite way to collaborate? Drop those in the chat with Sharing is Caring, and don't forget to upload your selfie with Florence the Flamingo. Okay, we are waiting for those tags. All right, let's get back to googly stuff.
Okay, and real quick, before I turn it back over to you, Georgina, if you want to communicate with your students, you can communicate with your students through the stream. So you can type something in there, it can go out to the whole class, or what's really nice is you can pick just specific students. And this way, if you have, maybe there's an extra piece of work that you need to give a student to help him out, he's fallen behind, you can assign it to just that one person. So there's so many cool things that you can do with all of this. But I think what we have coming up next is some helpful tips for your assignments. We're not going to go through these one by one necessarily right now, unless we have time at the end, but we don't want to hold up anybody else who's coming up next. Differentiation. Do you want to talk just a little bit more about that? I kind of touched on it, but you want to take that away, Georgina?
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, remember, every student learns at their own pace. Everyone has their own learning needs. And as an educator, our number one thing is to support them with personalized learning experiences. So you are able to create those different learning experiences and set those for specific groups of students or for specific students. Also really awesome for sell and send students. If you have a whole department at your school like we do, they get in there and they're able able to differentiate as well. If you're in a primary school, you can have all of your different subject teachers in on one primary Google Classroom, and they can also differentiate through topics there as well. So there are loads of ways that you can set it up consistently, vertically, as well as horizontally across the school, using topics and then assigning things to specific groups of students. And like Robin was saying on the helpful tips for assignments, Robin, if you want to just swap back to the slide deck, perfect. Just make sure, just as we do in the classroom, that when you're using Google Classroom to set your learning experiences, that you do it with clear instructions, guys. So make sure you have your title, make sure your descriptions are labeled maybe by numbers or bullet points. Make sure you give, especially in distance learning, guys, because you're not there to help the students one by one. So be as explicit as you can. Instructions are really important. Make sure you set a due date if needed and point. So just make sure you use all of the features in the window so that your students can easily proceed through their learning experiences. All right, what have we got left, Robin?
Just going over one more time, differentiation. You'll be getting a copy of this slide deck at the end, so you'll be able to see better exactly what we're talking about. But the differentiation, you can do, as I said, differentiation if you just need to send out a notice to your students. But you can also, when you create an assignment, you can decide which students you want to send that assignment to. So if you have kids working in groups, you want to just give this to one particular group. If it's work to have a student catch up on, then you can assign it to just one student. Again, so many tips to use this, but we just want to make sure you know where it all is for the level 1 exam. I don't want to overwhelm you.
We had a great question from Brandy in the chat asking about whether or not other students will see our assignments if we only assign it to that one student or those specific students. What does Florence think, Robin?
Florence has had that experience before, but what is safe to say is no, if you assign something to one student or you assign something to 5 students, it's only the students who see the assignment are the ones to whom you assigned it. Same thing with the stream. If you need to send out a message to a particular student, it's only that student who's going to see it. You as the teacher will see everything that you see on the screen. But if you're, specifically pointing out students, only those kids will see it.
That's awesome. And then we also had another question about the difference between a quiz assignment and a regular assignment.
I forgot to show you that. Thank you for bringing that up. We'll do that real quick. In Create Quiz Assignment, it's going to give you a blank quiz. Make sure when you open up that blank quiz, we've already gone over forms, so I don't need to go through all of this with you. You already know how to do that, but you'll be able to take create a quiz directly within Google Classroom that will be assigned to whatever students you need that assigned to. So it's right there. It's super easy. Again, it's just the click of a button. Quiz assignment gives you this blank form, and you'll be able to fill that out. I think the last thing we have to do, Georgina, we've only got about 3 minutes, is talk about our challenge.
Oh, who loves a challenge? Is Florence ready? Did he bring his dumbbells for boot camp?
He's been practicing all morning. It's a little bit of annoyance, having this flamingo running around. The dogs are going crazy, but I think he's ready. So is everybody ready for our challenge? You want to explain this, Georgina?
It looks like they're ready. Yes, this slide that you guys are seeing on the screen are just some super duper tools to let you guys, explore and discover more awesome integration things that you can do with your Google Classroom. So there's some playlists in there. There's some shout outs from Ditch That Textbook with guides to getting started with Google Classroom. There's also the Teacher Center directly from G Suite with all kinds of playlists. So you'll get this slide deck, go through if you'd like to get more, spend more time discovering Google Classroom. Now to the challenge.
The challenge is drum roll.
Drum roll. Shh. That didn't sound like a drum roll, but it looked like a drum roll.
I tried.
All right. So for today's challenge, what you guys need to do, you need to create a Google Classroom, which you can do from your G Suite account, personalize it with a banner, just like we talked about earlier, invite info@globalgeg.com as a student, and add a quiz in assignments, which is due in 1 week. It can be any day. It doesn't matter as long as you've got those 4 criteria in, and make sure that you take your selfies also and tag them at Global GEG as well for extra points for the leaderboard. And I don't see that there's any other big questions. There were some that were already answered in the chat by fellow Googlers. So thank you to the rest of our team who are in the chat helping out with those today.
Yes.
So I think that's it. We certainly hope you guys enjoyed an intro to Google Classroom today with Florence the Flamingo. And thank you to my awesome counterpart, Robin, from just around the block. I'm looking forward to going meeting Florence after today's boot camp. Yeah. And we are looking forward to your selfies, guys. Get those selfies in with Florence. And we're going to bring Amber and Stephanie back on the chat now to introduce them to Florence the Flamingo.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best. So much love for Florence. I was telling
everybody needs to know how to do it. That's what they're saying right now.
There might be a battle of the mascots. I don't know what's going to happen. But thank you. That was awesome. I think you inspired some people in the back to go, I want to look at my cursor. So yeah, that was great. And in all seriousness, though, a really great session on an intro to classroom. I don't think one of the comments was that not everybody uses it in their district. So especially when you go to take the test, you need to know how to use it, even if it isn't something that your school or your district necessarily uses. So thank you so much for an awesome intro to that. Great job. And we're going to bring up our next presenters. Who's coming next, Amber?
We have Lance and let's see, Bonnie and Rick. Is that who we have? So let's see, adding them in.
Right. Oh, okay. People are removing in the background. I'm sorry. Here you are, Rick. Welcome.
And we have Bonnie. All right. And where is Lance? Here he is. There we go. Lance, cool guy with his awesome setup behind him. So
yeah, you don't need us anymore. Now you've got these 3. You're set. All right. So please take it away. There were lots of people looking forward to your session today. So please teach us about sites. Please.
Yes.
All right. Can we go ahead and get my screen shared there? There we go. Oh, it was there for a second.
This is fun.
All right, there we go. All right, so I don't have a cool little mouse for everybody to look at, but I did enlarge my mouse so you could see it better. I had to decrease it a little bit because it was too big. So I'm Lance Key. I'm the Instructional Technology Specialist in Putnam County, Tennessee. I work with teachers on a day-to-day basis. You can follow me at lancerkey.com. Then my buddy right above me here.
My name is Frederick Ballou. I teach 5th grade instrumental music. It's a fancy way to say beginner band. I'm in the Minnesota metro area. I run the GEG Minnesota metro area. And next we have right above me.
Hey, I'm Bonnie Chalette. I run GEG South Louisiana. From Baton Rouge, and I'm a technology facilitator.
Yep. So what you got with you today is we got Fred from the up north. We got me. I'm in the south, and then we have Bonnie that is in the deep south.
All the way in the bottom.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of different accents today. So hopefully, we can
sure.
Yeah, hopefully we can all run with that. I like to say that I'm going to be the bread today. Fred, Rick, Frederick, you might hear me call him all. He's going to be the ham. And then Bonnie's going to be the dressing that goes on top of all of it. So, and you'll understand what all that means as we go through Google Sites today. So first thing is, why do you need a Google site? I get this question all the time. I've got Google Classroom. Why do I need a site? So first off, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Your school sites. You might have some school sites that you might want to do. You might have club sites that you want to put out there, teacher sites. And then last, student portfolios. And we'll walk you through how to do some of those today. So the first thing that I'm going to show you though is actually how to start that site. And there's really 2 different ways. We'll say 3, but 2. The first thing that you can do is you can go into your drive. So you can see that I'm in my Google Drive here. Multiple different ways that you've learned to get to it by now. You can go to drive.google.com. You can click the waffle button inside your inside of your mail, or many different ways. When you get here, you have to hit the New button, go down to More, and then there is Google Sites here. This is the first way that you can create a site. Now, this is not the way that I suggest you create a site, but you can. The second way, I'll just close this tab and we'll open another one up. And I apologize with my mouse being this big, I don't always hit where I need to. You can go to sites.google.com. And if you do that, this is the second way you can do it. If you have the old sites, or if you created sites in the old sites, you can click on New Sites and it will take you to where we're going to go, which is sites.google.com/new. So that is the third way. If you click that tab, though, it will take you to this place also. Now, the reason that I suggest that you may want to create it this way is, number one, all of your sites are going to show here in a tile. Number two, up at the top, you have a templates gallery that you can click on, and it will open up pre-made templates for you. So if you're not a web designer and you want to be able to just click and add things in, move stuff around, this will help you do that. There's also this little button that's hidden right here. I think they should do a better job of showing this. If you click this little button right here, it will give you more examples of your sites that you can create. All right, I'm going to be plain Jane, and I'm just going to start off with a simple blank website, and we're going to talk about how to create this today. So as I told you before, we're all over the place. Some of us are in the north, some are in the south, but we're going to work on creating this site together. So first thing I've got to do is name my site. So up in the top left, it says Untitled Site. I'm going to name this as our GEG Harry Potter site, since we were talking about Harry Potter earlier. I know nothing about Harry Potter, but I bet my team can help me with it. Now, until I name that, you will notice none of these options popped available for me. So don't try to share your site with anybody until you name it. So now I'm going to hit the plus to add collaborators, and I'm going to go over here and grab the email addresses of my collaborators today. I'm going to paste that in right here. So as you can see, I got Bonnie and Fred coming in. I'm going to make them editors. I have the options to make them editors or published viewers. I could send them a nice little message, notification. I'm just going to hit send to them. Yes, they're outside my domain. That's okay. And then later on, you'll see these guys pop in here, and they'll be able to help me to create this site. Now, the reason that I said that I'm the bread for this, I'm going to talk about how to work with your header today. You can see Fred just popped in here with me, and I'm going to talk about your footer and how to add a footer to this. And then Fred's going to work on the things in between for us. And then Bonnie's going to top it off with all the sauce and dressing for us. All right, so first off, your banner. Now, I will say the banner is the most frustrating thing to me about Google Sites. And the reason for that is the banner actually collapses depending upon, because they made this kind of mobile ready. So I've got a couple of different ones that you'll see here. You see this is a smaller banner that has a logo in the middle. I'm in preview mode right now. As I click on this, you will see how it collapses down, and you see why I've got all this white space that's kind of over here to the side, because you lose that as you close this down. So this is a smaller banner. This is a medium-sized banner here that has the navigation on the left side. Again, you're going to see that we're going to lose a lot of the school when I close this down. So here we go. We're going to close this down. You'll see the picture resizes. So you have to be mindful as you make your banners. Here's a large banner, okay? But you'll notice that we're going to lose a lot of the county logo and things as we collapse this down. So be mindful of that. I have a little Google Sites banner template that I have made here. I put these rectangles that's on here. As you notice, this is 1600 by 250. And I have my rectangles at 4 inches, 5.5 inches, and 6.5 inches. And I would like to say that this works every time, but you kind of just have to play with this to get it exactly like you want it. So I'm going to bring in our global GEG logo here. I'm going to drag and drop that in. I'm going to kind of center this up right here. And then I'm just going to do a file, download as PNG. And then we're going to make this our website banner here. So I can just put a title on this page. I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit upload. And then I'm going to select my banner here and hit open. You're going to see that it's going to bring it in. So a couple of things for this banner. If I want to put a title on top of it, I can, but I don't want to right now. I've got this little readability thing here that it will adjust your picture in and out. But again, if we hit preview, this is what it's going to look like as we resize it. Okay.
Nice.
All right. So let's say that, you know, maybe we don't want an image. We're going to reset this thing, and we're back to this gray background. Over here on the right side, we have what's called themes. And this is to make it really easy. So I'm a guy, I'm not very good at making things look pretty. I'm more about functionality. We can come in and say, hey, I want to change my colors. And it will allow me to change my colors here. Or I can select if you know your hex codes, you can come in and select any color you want. And I use a little eyedropper tool to help me figure out my hex codes. That's an extension that I use. So to help you figure that out. So let's just go with a kind of a pretty purple here. And if y'all want to change this later, guys, as we go through this, you can. So now I've got a colored header in here, and you can change your type. So if you want to go banner, large banner, any of those, you can do that. So that's kind of how you create your header. So this is our GEG Harry Potter. And then last, we need to know how to add a footer. So I'm going to hit the footer part here. This is going to be like for your school address or anything you want to show up on every page. So I'm going to go with a small. I'm going to center this guy up. And this is going to be Hogwarts. And if I misspell this again, I apologize. And this is at 9 3/4. Is that correct, guys?
Yep.
Isn't that where Hogwarts?
Look at you, platform 9 3/4.
Oh, well,
station.
I just guessed at that real quick. So my friends would be disappointed in me. All right. But anyways, let me get that out of the way. My big mouse is killing me again. All right. So I am going to, at this point, turn it over to Fred, and he's going to talk to you about how to create pages and subpages.
Cool, cool. If we could share my screen, that would be super sweet.
I am trying to stop.
All right, cool. I'm going to be talking about adding pages, add a subpage, an external link, change the order of pages, delete a page, and change page navigation. So here we are on the site that we created. So if you want to add a page, it is about as easy as looking over here where it says page. Do you see where it says pages? So you can click that. And right now, the only one we have up is the home page. Really, Cora? All right, so if we want to add a page, we just come down here and click new page. So we could do, let's call it houses, right? Because Harry Potter has all the houses.
Herbology, whatever, either one.
So, well, we're gonna have the houses, right? And now we want to add a sub page. So see how easy that was? So now if we look at the site, here's our main page. There are houses, and it's labeled houses. And of course you can change that. Okay, now that I'm looking at it, is that spelled right?
Yeah, that's houses.
Okay.
You got this.
Woof. All right, so here we are. And now if we want to add a sub page, all we got to do is see the little 3 dots. We can click add a sub page. So what we would do now is we would probably add the houses. So obviously we have to add Gryffindor because they're the Boy Scouts. How do you spell that, Bonnie?
GRYFFINDOR.
INDOR. I mean, they're cool, but they're not who I'm about.
I'm Ravenclaw.
Same. That's right.
I don't know. I think we're kind of Hufflepuffy.
I'm Hufflepuffy? How dare you? All right, and then we would add the other ones. So Slytherin, spell that for me, Bonnie. Slid.
SLYTHERIN.
And then of course, how dare you? Hufflepuff.
My daughter's a Hufflepuff.
All right, well then I guess it's all right. HUFFLEPUFF.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so we've got our houses. So we've made a page and a subpage. Now we could add an external link. Now, here, this is where you just paste a link. Can't think of any links to paste other than maybe Harry Potter. Obviously, we want to put the store there, right? So go ahead and copy that link. And then for your external link, you could just put it right there. So now we've got an external link. Because, I mean, that was one of the things I was going to show you. So we've added an external link. Now, where does that show up? Can someone tell me? This is a quiz for you all listening. Anyone? Anyone? No? Am I still on?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I was afraid I lost you all. All right, so really? Okay. So yeah, so we've added an external link. So if we were to say view it, where's view again, Lance? It's not publish.
It is to the left. There you go.
Preview.
Preview. There you go.
So I am not seeing where the external link shows up.
I saw you not hit the OK button at the bottom to save the
Thank
link.
you.
So when
Good
you do that,
Lord.
I think it'll show up.
Okay, good. Let's go back. Boink. So let's go ahead and click that external. Nope, that's not what we wanted. Boop. New link. And thank you for that, Amber. Bada bing. Done. Name. Stuff to buy. Boink. All right, so now that's where our link is. The next thing I wanted to show all y'all that's part of the slide deck is delete a page. Let's say we've decided that, I mean, Gryffindor, they're the Boy Scouts, Ravenclaw, they're the Smarties, Slytherin. For any good story, you gotta have a villain. Let's get rid of Pufflepuff, despite your daughter being super cool. To
Yeah.
delete a page, all you gotta do is click the 3 dots to delete it. Obviously, we don't want to delete it, but that's how you do it. All you gotta do is go over here to the 3 dots, scroll down and click delete. Now, if you want to talk about navigation, right? So here we have the order of things. Our stuff is like here, navigation. So like if you were looking at it, this is where you would click. If you don't like that, if you're into it looking cooler or different, you can change the navigation from top to side. So now your pages are over nya as opposed to at the top. And that's all you have to do to change navigation. And that's all I was going to show. Let's pass it over to Bonnie.
All right. I am gonna change our plan because I know they're guys and they're lovely, but I made mine pretty.
Thanks, Bunny.
Hey, each to his own. So Lance has an amazing way of making that title, and that is awesome on Google Drawings. I am far lazier than that. So generally, what I do is I change the image by a URL. Like I just Google Harry Potter GIF and find the link and paste it here.
Right on.
Yeah. So that's, like I said, I appreciate Lance because he's better at this than me, but I'm just lazier. It's nothing personal. So what I'm going to talk to you about are like layouts and how to do text boxes and dividers and buttons and all kinds of fun stuff. So right here, this is your friend. There's a whole column that has your text boxes, your images, an embed code. If you want to write, if you're like a coder person, you can put stuff straight from your drive, or even like have fancy layouts. Like I said, all kinds of fun stuff. I've got some friends, and once again, Lance was talking about why you would make a Google site. I've got some friends who've made some amazing classroom sites because they have maybe a parent asks too many questions. So they're like, here you go, here's my site. And it has like a breakdown of their units and they can use it every year. So like I said, you can look at all of these things. On the exam, you won't necessarily have to add these things. The thing you'll have to add is a text box. so I'm going to start here. You can see my insert button right here. You can see my hat. I'm going to click that bow text box. I can type what I want. I can center it. I can bold it. And I heard a rumor that Google was, going to eventually add more fonts, because here you're just going to have a few options unless you change that theme that Lance told you about. So it's pretty basic options. Personally, I think people change fonts too much, so I like this. I don't want my students to have edit access to the fonts.
Bonnie, that sounds like the lazy way out, though. I mean, we need fonts. We need fonts. Come on,
do
Google.
not change it to Papyrus. Thank you. So I'd like
Comic Sans for life.
Yes.
You guys are fired. So start, like I said, on the exam, all you have to do is create this page, add that text box. But if you want to make your class page, make it a little fancier, you can go down here. I might want to add a divider. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There's a divider button. If I want to add a different type of button, you have to have a link. I could even link it to, like, if I want to, I'm going to change it. So say I want to have some buttons for all of my courses. I can even link it to other sites within my site. Like on my personal site, I have a collection of all these Google templates. And I got a big button in the front that says, hey, I know why you're here to look at my templates. Once I make my button, I can resize it, can move it around. And that's just a way to like clarify to your user, whether it's a parent, whether it's a student, how they can navigate your site. If I want to add a YouTube video, I can add another divider, and then there's like a whole YouTube button. So straight from here, I know there are like rap battles and stuff. I'm not going to add them, but that would be nice. We can go ahead and do that. There are some crazy rap battles of Harry Potter. Don't ask why I know this.
Because they're awesome. Have you seen them? Obviously, you've seen them. They're so good.
So Harry Potter versus Voldemort. I'm going to select that.
You and your magic broom there seems to be
You
having
like
some
it?
issues. Yes.
I know it's cute. So I want to move this around with my great value Voldemort here. And I can center it, move it around, format it. And like next steps, I might want to add a calendar. I'm going to move over because I kind of filled this up. But say I'm a teacher, my students keep saying they don't know when stuff is due. And even that, I want to communicate with my parents when things are due. Now, if you're using Google Classroom, you already have a calendar for that. But once again, I'm going to go to that Insert tab. I'm going to look at my calendars. That's not what I wanted. But so I can add the holidays in the United States. Right here, like I said, this is an editable calendar. If you've got a class calendar, if you want to put holidays in the UK, all your choice. I can move it around. Like I said, if you have a Google Classroom, I don't have any Google Classrooms on this account. I obviously do have a Harry Potter Google Classroom that I use for work, for all my trainings.
Obviously.
So, but you could add that Google Calendar right here. Even if you wanted now I have a friend who does this, and it does look really great. She's added a bunch of Google Maps. She teaches 6th grade world history. And she's added a bunch of maps to her site about the different units. Like, here you go. What we're talking about, in case you can't visualize it, is Cairo. So once again, I can go here. I can click on maps because Google could not have made it simpler. You can do a My Map, which is a whole nother day to talk about, or you can just find a location. So those of you who don't know, Annet Castle is where they filmed that flight scene for Harry Potter. And right here, I can add that map. So later, if they have questions, they can add that to their site. So I don't know how many questions out of the chat because I have my screen. I am having trouble with my room.
Got a quick question, Bunny, that I see here that's asking about student portfolios and artwork, maybe.
Portfolios.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anything that you actually put in your Google Drive, you can bring right in here to a Google site. So Bunny, would you like to just go grab, show them how to grab any file from their Google Drive and bring that in?
That's my next thing.
There you go. There you go. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of you.
I've used these for student portfolios. It's really great for those students. You can transfer ownership to an outside email. So like if they work on this their senior year, they can transfer that to like a personal and then use it for like employment, college applications. And one of the things they could do is add any of the documents they've made. So I can look at my drive. Like I said, for two purposes, I've known a lot of principals who have added like informational forms to their site, like in the front, or students can add their letters of intent, or you could link in transcripts. But you saw when I hit that insert, I can add a doc, I can add slides, and that will automatically update. I had a school site that wasn't user friendly, so I embedded slides that rotated, and essentially I could update our website from my phone. So there's tons of stuff. Any document that you embed will live update. So if you're not a coder or whatever, you can put that syllabus right here on the front, and you're like, the second you publish something, you see your spelling error. Like if you can't spell Hufflepuff,
for example,
it's going to change automatically. So Google Sites is super, super user friendly. I just had a meeting the other day too. We were talking about adding like data charts and that kind of stuff, because you can even restrict as much as you want to make your site publish. You can also restrict who can see it. So like student portfolios that have sensitive data, you can restrict that as well, where only certain people can see it. Lance, have anything else I should cover?
Yeah. So another question I saw, Bunny, was a couple of ways that you can use this. One is when you publish this, and I think Fred was going to go over publishing in just a second.
I got that next.
Okay. But you can do internal publishing, and you can do publish to the world. So I know there were some questions in here about student pictures and privacy and things like that. I'm gonna let Fred talk about how to publish it and do all that. But just know when you do publish, you have the option of where to publish and who actually sees that content.
Yeah, and even you have that in those share settings. You see, I clicked a link, and it's got a restricted option. So you can even, before you publish, make sure when you publish it, it is restricted for that sensitive student data. Totally do it. And that's a great question, because that's something I've experienced before. Yeah,
and one other question that I saw here was this is also good for sharing common assessments and files across districts. Sometimes things get lost in Google Drive, so a lot of people are doing their common plannings and things through this, and they have just an internal site that only the people that it's shared with can see it, and they actually never publish it.
Exactly. I could sit here all day and show you wonderful examples. I even have a friend who has her like Amazon cart and her where you can get donations right on her site, because if you don't ask, you don't get it. So she can send out get all, like parents buy her stuff all the time from that Amazon cart. So you can also use it like for your classroom, like to promote it. But cool. I definitely have seen some really good uses of student portfolios. We have a aquaponics class, and they make a website about like the safety of going in, because they have to like glove down and all this kind of stuff. And so they've made some really cool sites, because I could show you a million examples, but we only have so much time. But
we have 2 minutes to cover one more thing. If we could share my screen real quick. We already kind of talked about publishing. too far ahead. So I was going to talk about preview on publish site and then publish your site. I'm going to sadly go back to this one because Bonnie didn't share the pretty one. But we already kind of talked about preview. You click this button to preview so you can see what it's going to look like both on the desktop, tablet, or mobile. And then if you want to publish, there's a button here that says publish. So that's what you would hit. And we can manage who can view the site. So just like Bunny was saying, you can decide if it's going to be, you know, just certain people or publish to the web. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the cool stuff. By the way, when this slide deck gets shared, there are some pretty fantabulous GIFs that are showing you exactly how to do all the stuff we just showed you. So if we move too fast, you can look at the slide deck. So our secret code is what? Because that's what we picked. And you can see our, you know, our Bitmojis there. Where
www.
Yeah, www. Oh, dude, I get it. All right.
Yeah.
And then our bonus points. This one's tough, so good luck. We're asking you to, for 50 points, create a class website with at least 2 pages, pick 2 things to embed, either a doc, a map, a calendar, YouTube, and then publish your site. And then after you do it, put it on Twitter and then tag the 3 of us at Lancer Key, at Blue EdTech, at Bunny Shalette, and then hashtag Global GEG.
No Slytherin sites.
No.
I'm a Slytherin, sorry.
Abby's a Slytherin. Abby's a Slytherin. We had this
Right on.
conversation.
Okay, I think we are good. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Peace out,
you.
y'all.
Nice job, guys. Lots of great tips. Thank you so much. We love it.
Great job. Oh my gosh. There was so much love in the chat for all of you because you were awesome.
And
Plus,
so much love for the Harry Potter. Everybody's
oh
on.
my gosh,
Harry Potter.
I'm diehard. I'm diehard. I have 5 wands. Okay, so let's not get us started. Anyway, I have Luna Lovegoods. That's my favorite of all the wands. Okay, so we'll move on. We can have a whole Harry Potter day another time. But we have Louise. So happy to have you back, Louise. Always.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Better now.
Well,
You.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so my session is on Google Groups, and I hope to make this as fun and as brief as possible. Actually, just to give people a breather, Google Groups is not that hard, and what's being evaluated in the test is rather simple. So it's all really, really basic. So I'm going to be heading out to give you guys a demo of what we're doing. First thing we have to do is, hi, I'm Luis Pertus. That's my Twitter handle down there. And I am the leader of GEG Barranquilla and one of the founders of Global GEG, or Global GEG. Rhymes with egg. Yeah? Okay, so we're going to be talking about Google Groups. And this is Google Groups. And there you can see a beautiful little GIF, hard G, that explains how to get into Google Groups. And there's lots of ways. And we're going to see one way in a little second while I start doing a demo, because this is easier as show and tell than just me throwing up a bunch of slides. I will ask you to be very patient if you have any questions. I'm sure somebody will pop up and just ask me. I'll try and remain like I'm trying to see both screens at the same time. But it's not as easy as it seems. So yeah. So
don't worry, I'm
way
here with
of getting
you, Louise.
to show you guys how groups works.
I'm here with you, Louise. So if you need anything, I'm not going to stay on, but I'll pop in if there's a question. So don't worry, everybody, keep your questions, but I'll wait for the right time because Louise is so patient with all of us. So, and nice polo, by the way. Nice polo.
Oh, thank you. Look, it's beautiful. Okay, so I tried making a bigger cursor, but this is as big as I could get on my Chromebook. If you could recommend another cursor extension thing, I'll be glad to use it for the next time. But still, okay, so we're going to talk about creating groups, which is really easy. And we're going to talk about a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing twice, once in old groups and once in new groups, just so guys know how it works and how to add members and how to post something to a group. So it's really simple. If you've used mailing lists, it's that simple. It's just really easy. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to groups.google.com. And that's the best way of getting into groups. And then you're going to see one of two things. You're going to see either new groups or old groups. Now, in the exam, I presume that you're going to be seeing new groups because it's on a new, but we never know. So this is the interface for old groups. And if you want to see the new groups, there's this little blue button that takes you to new groups. If you want to go back to old groups, don't freak out. There is a, it will be when it pops up. This is new groups, okay? Now, in the waffle, sometimes people get groups in the waffle. Sometimes people don't get groups in the waffle for some mysterious reason. Like, for example, this is my personal account, and my personal account won't work with the waffle. I won't get groups in the waffle, but my school account does. So it's just really weird. So, okay. So now, basically, the best thing about groups is that as long as you keep your group updated and you know who exactly is in the group and you have a good idea, you can share stuff to the group. And all the stuff that we've been talking about just now is everything you can share. You can publish sites, you can publish everything else. You can publish it straight to a group, and you don't have to list every single person that's in the group. And that's the best thing ever. So, for example, when I told you guys in the chat that that I have like a Google site that I share only with Google certified trainers, that Google site is shared with the certified trainers group. So if you're not in the group, you can't see the site, but if you're in the group, the site works wonderfully. So, that's one of the things you have to do. So I'm going to teach you guys how to create a group from scratch. So we're going to create a brand new group, and I'm going to do it first in new groups, and then we'll go to old groups, because we're not sure which one of the two you're going to get in your test. So I'm going to do it in both anyway, Christopher, so don't worry about it. So I'm going to create a group. So first thing you do is, just in case you missed it, you're going to click this beautiful button with a little multicolored plus sign that says create group. And then you're going to get a bunch of questions. So what name do we want to give our new group? So just, is a new group. And you're going to have to bear with my typos because my typos are awesome. And then automatically it's going to offer to create the group in the Google Groups site. If you're on a custom domain, it will offer if it'll do it in either Google Groups or in your custom domain. So if you're at a school domain, it will offer doing a new group under your school domain. Now, these group names can be anything as long as they're not already there. So it is a happy coincidence that this is a new group, is not a group already. So yeah. So, and group description is, you can be as long or as short as you want. You can just place nothing there, but I like to define stuff. So this is a sample group for the awesome level 1 bootcamp by Global GG. Okay, so then I hit next. And of course, this group has already been taken. So there you go. So this is a new group 1. And we're going to go again. Yay. Okay. So after that, then it tells you you have to configure certain things about what you want in your privacy settings in the group. If there are specific privacy settings in the test, you're going to get the specific privacy settings in the question. So if they ask you that the people who can search are only anybody in the web or group members, or if only invited users or anybody can ask to join or anybody can join, you'll have that in the test, and all you have to do is select the correct options. So all of these are different choices, and like who can view conversations, you can choose either the group owners or managers or the members or anybody in the world. You can change all these different things according to the amount, the type of groups you make. Now, Google Groups does make more limited choices than a custom group inside our domain, but don't worry about it. Okay, so after you do this, then you hit next. It then asks me to add more members. So just because I know that Abid and Stephanie love being added to new groups, I'm going to add them to the group. So I'm going to add Stephanie Rothstein. I'm going to add Steph Howell. I'm going to add Bonnie. I'm going to add all the people who love being added to new groups. This is Leslie Altman. And if you want to, you could also add a group to a group. So if you're looking for, like, for example, I could add leaders at globalgeg.org. And then that would add all the leaders in the global GEG that are listed. So it'll be really fun and really interesting. I don't recommend you do it though, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take them off, but just so you know that you can do it. I'm going to take them off so they don't belong to another group. And I'm going to erase this group anyway, but it's just so you guys know how it works. Group managers, I can assign managers. These are people that can add members, remove members, do blocking. If you decide to have this group be moderated, they can also be moderators and all that stuff. So you can add anybody as a moderator, as a manager. So I'm going to add Steph Howell because I'm sure that Steph Howell will be an awesome manager. Oh, well, she's already okay, so I'm going to remove her from here. I'm going to add her here as a manager because she manages stuff. There we go. And then that's me. And then I would type a short welcome message, but I'm too lazy to type properly right now. And then these people are going to be subscribed in one of several things. They could be either they get every single email that's sent to the list. They get a digest at the end of the day. They get an abridged one, which is like a short digest, or they don't get any mail at all. You can do these ones for none for groups that you only want to use to like share stuff to, not necessarily to email. So then after you do this, I hit create group. And of course, since I'm suspicious and I could be a robot, I'm being asked to do a CAPTCHA. And this will do this, especially if you guys, oh God, breaches. Especially if you guys create a lot of groups at the same time, it will be buggy and the CAPTCHA will pop up a lot, as it tends to do. And that is that. And then it'll take me directly to the new group and it'll give me the email address right there. So I'm going to copy it just to show you guys how it works. Okay, so now I can go to group and it'll show me the group in the new groups interface. And then I could directly type out some message or something to everybody in the group and everybody would receive it. Or let's wait for this to pop up. So there are no conversations yet because, of course, nobody's written because it's brand new. You could pop up a new conversation and look, it acts just like email. I'm sorry, guys, but you're getting some spam. So I'm just writing out any message and I'll just post it. If not, you can also, I can go mail.new. If you didn't know, if you do mail.new, you get a new email message to compose. And of course, it's asking me to sign into the account, which is the weirdest thing ever. It shouldn't. No, it's trying to ask me. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I thought it's compose.new. Oh, no, Gmail. Mail.new is to create a new account. Sorry. Okay, so if I wanted to, I can. This is Tammy. It's not a group text. It's more like a group mail service. So you could have like, if you're amongst the global GEG members and we announce stuff, we use Google Groups to announce stuff to people. So for example, so I just got this new email about my group being recently created. So we can read this over here and then you can see eventually when it loads.
Yeah, I just got your test message. I got your very important test message, Luis.
Super important. Lots of really important information.
It came straight to me as part of this group. So thank you. Yeah, very important.
Yeah. We'll remove you. We'll remove the group. Don't worry. I know we don't need any more groups than we already have. So this is the group. This is the first message I get as a group creator. If I also wanted to send another message, and again, sorry guys, I'm going to send a message. I hit here to create a new email. And when it loads, if it loads, and look at this super speedy internet today. Super, super speedy. Oh yeah, districts and schools in the States love to block groups. So please be patient. I would recommend that if you're going to try creating groups to mess around just so you can practice for the test, do it from a personal Gmail account because it can be an issue. Okay, so supposing that my internet is cooperating now, we can try and compose. We can try. Please compose. Come on. I'm not liking this. Okay, here you go. So it's composing. So I just hit paste which is this is a new group 1 at googlegroups.com, and then just write in any subject and just say this is a test. Sorry. And a little sad face, old school sad face. And then if I send this to the group, everybody in the group will get one, except for me. Well, not really except for me, because I'm getting copies of the group too. So there you go. This is the first test since it was posted within the Google Groups. There you go. It shows me this is the first message I sent, and then this second one it shouldn't appear for me because I sent it, and that's the way Google Groups works. It tries to be smart about it. Now, Google Groups accounts are not limited to only Gmail addresses. So you don't have to freak out if your other people that work with the other people that you're putting in a group are not within Gmail. You can use any other account. There might be some stumbling blocks as to getting little different abilities within the group, but don't worry about it. It should work perfectly. Now, just in case, and if my internet cooperates, we're going to do the same thing in classic groups, because somebody told me right now that apparently the test works in old groups. Now, it's the same thing. It's just a little less pretty. Old groups works exactly the same way. Don't worry about it. It's basically the same. So you have this old school interface, and it's probably the oldest interface that there is on Google services. So yeah. So all you do is hit here where it says create group. And then we're going to give this group a name. This is yet another test group. And apparently this one does work, and it verifies before I hit somewhere. This is nice. Okay, is another test group for the awesome level 1 boot camp by Global GG. And yes, I do always say out what I'm doing, even if it's only in my mind. And it's the same thing. You can do this one here. Imagine this. It lets me do primary languages, and I choose UK because UK is metric, and I like my centimeters and meters and kilometers. Thank you very much. It's the same thing. You can choose it to be an email list, a web forum, question answer, or a collaborative inbox. The group visibility, if you want anybody on the web to be there, if you only want it to be visible by members of the group or anybody else in the world.
Daddy, we have a list.
Okay, Gordo, but I'll do the mission later, okay?
Okay.
Love you.
It's trying to fix
No,
the tool.
later. Love you.
Okay, it's fixed this one.
Okay, I'll fix it later. Okay, this is working from home. Okay. Also, the different types of topics. Who can look at different types of topics? Managers. Stuff. Now, all of this really granular stuff is also available in new groups. It's just hidden away. But for the test, all you need to do is create a group and post something to it. So don't worry about all the minutia. Yeah. And the same thing in the test question, you'll get exactly what you need to do, and you'll get exactly who you need to do and who you need to add and everything. So don't worry about being creative. Or the same way as we've said to you guys before for docs and sheets and everything else, it has to be correct. So if they give you a group description, copy and paste the group description. Don't make it prettier. Don't make it nicer. All it needs to be is correct. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be pretty. It needs to be correct. So I already listed out everything I want to do in the group. I just hit create. And the first thing it'll do is another CAPTCHA, because of course I am apparently a robot. It didn't see that I have a kid who just came in. So who knows? Traffic lights. There you go. I am definitely not a robot, because of course robots can't tell traffic lights. Yeah, Tesla cars can't see traffic lights. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's just a clunkier interface. So there you go. This is the profile information you'd see if you entered an old Google group. And that would be just about it. And then same thing. I can do a test topic. I can do it. Now here, it doesn't prompt me to add group members at once, but there is this beautiful manage members here. So if I go here and I hit manage members, then I can add new people in here. So wait, here, damn it. Okay, here, sorry. You can either invite members, which is you give them, you list out different email addresses and they'll get an invite to join. Or in this case, it's faster, especially for the test. You can directly add members. So the difference between invite and direct add is that the people who I add directly, like for example, Abid again, and then Steph again, and the other Steph again. And then these people are getting directly added to the group. So I can add them, and then I'm going to add Bonnie and Leslie as invites. Now, welcome to the group. Imagine that's what it's saying. It's really in a weird, mysteriously lost language. Okay. I love CAPTCHAs. Crosswalks. Okay, this is directly adding them. You know, this is why the new interface is nicer, because it doesn't have me jump through all the hoops. If I invite members, I'm going to invite Bonnie, and I'm going to invite Leslie. Of course, if I spell Leslie correctly, it'll be a lot better. If I send invitations, then the difference between this one and the other one is that they're going to get an invite and they can choose whether or not they want to belong to a group. So cars. I don't see any more cars. Okay. It's a touch screen. That's why you didn't see the mouse move around. So yeah, maybe they think I'm a robot if they can't see my mouse move around. I'm not sure. But it's basically it. And this is all you need to do about groups. And it's the same thing. This other group, the email address for the group this is yet another email. This is yet another group. And then the same thing, if I wanted to share something to the group, I just go into Gmail or into Drive or into wherever, and I just write out when it composes, if ever. I just write out this is yet another group at Google Groups.
So Luis, I popped in the background just
Yes.
because I think sometimes people aren't sure how they'll be asked these questions on the exam. So if it's something where they're being asked to utilize groups, there might be a multiple choice question, maybe where they're asking something about it, but they might also ask you in a task. So I don't know if you want to take them through the ways that they might be asked.
Okay, sure. I don't know if this is technically covered by the NDA, but everybody knows. There are two parts to the Google Certified Educator Test. There is the multiple choice part where you get asked questions about different Google Suite tools that you can use and how to best use them. And there's also a practical part where you actually have to demonstrate your knowledge and do stuff. So multiple choice, super easy. It'll have you ask and have you check off. It can be one choice. It can be many choices. There's some that you have to put stuff in order. But basically questions that involve Google Groups would be like, which tool would be awesome to create a group to deliver content to, for example? And then you would choose if you were going to use like groups or slides or sheets or classroom or whatever. Now, it depends on how you interpret these, but be mindful if you do the material on the course online on the Teacher Center. They will ask you questions that are similar to the ones that you're going to get in the test, because people, you know how people are, and we like to imagine creative answers to stuff. So yeah, you could use sites, you could use Classroom, you could use everything to share stuff to groups. But you know, you have to be in the mindset of the test asker to see exactly what it is that they're asking.
That's a good point, Luis. I know you don't see me. That's a really good point that I think people...
I can. I moved you over.
So. Oh, you moved me. Is that I'm that person that the multiple choice, I'm that overthinker on those questions. And so like my interpretation of what you're saying is don't overthink it and really look at what is the tool, what is it teaching you, and is this question asking, can this tool do that specific thing?
Oh, well, yeah. And then if you have a practical part, because it's like everything, they have a bank of questions and a bank of scenarios. So not everyone is going to get the same questions. Not everyone is going to get the same scenarios. The scenarios are mainly the same, but In the bank of questions, it is also a probability, it has happened to me, that you're going to get the same question more than once. So I've gotten the same question twice in the same test. And there's also the possibility that you get the answer to another question in a future question.
That happens to me.
Like, so you know, be mindful, take the test like you know, when we tell the kids that when they're doing their standardized test to, you know, review and go back because you can. Review and go back because you can. And there's a beautiful button that says, you know, review question, and at the end it'll remind you, you know, you mark this one for review. So yeah, and if you do it in the practical part, you'll if that scenario gets to you, you'll have to create a group. They'll tell you who to add to the group. Don't worry about it. It's like really laid out step by step.
Yeah,
you
it's all
almost
within,
could do it if you don't practice. Almost.
Yeah, it's all within, because you're given that the whole like G Suite through your fake email address. So if they asked you to do any of that, they would say to find this person. They would tell you who it is. You're adding
they'll
them.
actually
they'll
give you a list
for Gmail. Yeah, they'll give you the list. So you don't have to like, go figuring it out.
And you can basically almost, and the way they give you the list, you can literally copy paste everybody into place. And the same thing, this test is corrected by a machine. So please bear in mind, you have to be correct, not pretty. So the same thing, if they don't ask you to put in a welcome message, don't put in a welcome message. Don't overthink it. Don't overtask yourself, because you do have a limited amount of time. And if you do overthink stuff, then you might run out of time. I've had people who run out of time.
For sure.
No, I haven't seen any, Gordo. Please. Okay. There you go. Okay. So, and this is basically everything there is, you know, in the test, because it's in the test about groups. And oops, I'm clicking on the wrong. Hey, there you go. And then there is a secret code word, and the code word is collaboration.
You're on fire.
So collaboration, yeah. Well, Darren's on fire. He just lit me up too. So collaboration is the code word that we're using for extra points in the leaderboard, and then the leaderboard is right there. Yeah, level1.globalgeg.org. Points are being awarded, and you know, points are going to be awarded all the time. About the test, people will talk about this at the end, but no, you have up to 3 hours. That doesn't mean you have to take all 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about it. All those recommendations are coming later, but you know, please, you know, don't even wear a watch. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
So,
great job. As always, Luis. People were commenting about how you're the forms and sheets master, and now they can call you. I don't know, what would we call you? Like the group's guru? Maybe we can
group.
Go
No, I don't like guru. It's too pretentious. Maybe it's like the group.
Fine.
No, because we already have a calendar wrangler. It would be like the group herder.
Googly groups? I don't know. We have to figure out a good name. Somebody's got to do some alliteration for me on that one, because I need it. Okay. So thank you, Luis. I'm going to bring Amber back up, and we'll, as our next one is going to start in just a few minutes. So Amber and I will be here for you in between. Hello, Amber. Hi, Amber. We were getting some questions during this, because we're starting our next one in about 2 minutes and 40 seconds if we're staying on time and people are popping in. So someone said Group Godzilla. That could work. I don't know if he wants that one. But
I like Godzilla.
You like? Okay, so there we.
Yes,
you heard it here first. Perfect. You heard it here first, and I like the face that goes with that. We could do some awesome Bitmojis for that one, I think. So again, people were asking a lot. I think as we near the end of this boot camp, we still have more to go. But as we near this final day of day 3, people really are thinking about how to actually practically take this test, right? And so we're getting a lot of questions that I would call in my class, like the logistical questions, right? The ones of how to do that. And so don't worry, we're going to go over some of that at the end, but for sure to reiterate what Luis was saying and what was being talked about in the chat, it is a 3-hour exam. Some people will take the 3, some people will not. And I would say you never want to base your own experience on what somebody else has said it took them, because everybody has a different skill level when it comes to different parts, right? It took me longer to do the multiple choice, but that's because I overthought those questions and I probably felt more comfortable in the doing. And you get different questions like what Luis was saying. Yes, Luis.
No, and I took level 2 first because I wanted to take Google 2 first. And then since I wanted to become trainer, I had to go back and take level 1. And I took a very short amount of time because all the stuff in Google in level 2 is already in level 1. So lots of, for those of you who are coming to the bootcamp for level 2, you'll see that we're going to have you review all of this first before we go there. So yeah.
Thank you. Yes, and I think you overthink yourself in those multiple choice questions, and so it probably will take you a lot of time. But I mean, just really look at what it is that it's asking you and what it is that it wants you to answer. But again, everyone takes their own amount of time with what they need and how much time they need to do it.
Correct. Like any student, I would say the same thing to them, right? Like the goal is that you're learning and growing, and that and for me, I learned a lot. Stacy always says that I learned so much from taking the exam itself. And there were pieces where I was like, oh, I do this all the time. And then all of a sudden I got a question and I went, that wasn't something I knew before, and now I'm going to use it. So I think that these sessions have taken us through pieces. Things have been added since I first took it. And I've been going through these sessions with you going, next time when I need to redo my level 1 and my level 2 certifications, I'm going to need to know all these. So I just wanted to say great job to all of our presenters as we bring on our final, is it our final group?
Yes, I believe so. No.
Darren's shaking his head. No, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No, it is not our final team, but it is a great team to bring on right now. Without further ado, we're going to bring up Patrick. Patrick, who are you joined by in this session?
I am joined by Darren.
Okay, can't forget Darren. Cannot.
And
How could we forget you, Darren? Never. All right, we're so happy you're both here. We're going to leave it to both of you, as you don't need us here, but we'll be in the background if you need anything. Bye.
Yeah, give you that. Hi everyone. You're right, Pat.
Everything's going well. Beautiful day here, and
it is. It's very.
We got the AC going when it's hot out. I know it's probably just hot for you.
Yeah, because we don't have aircon. No, I've just got a fan blowing more hot air around. But, you know, it's great when you're ginger because you love hot weather. Okay, so we're going to take you through Google Keep this afternoon, and full credit goes to Pat for the deck because he put all of that together. And when you get your hands on it at the end, you're going to be able to click on loads of hyperlinks within that and get further information and more help. So we're going to do more of a live demo rather than going through the slide decks. But I think we've got a shout out to do first, haven't we?
Believe so. If we could bring up the slide deck.
I don't know. Do you want Stacy's screen? Because you guys don't have yours shared. So let's see. Oh, there we go.
We will do. We'll have Stacy's for a minute, and then we'll share in a moment. Because we want to give a shout out first of all and it's really, I think it's Sarah Pasquale, I think, but my eyesight's not brilliant and my screen's quite small. Who shared Twitter Challenge 1 entry, favorite G Suite tools, keeping her on track, calendar, and also there the old Hangouts and Meets. But Keep might just change things for you there. So you've hung your hat on those two tools, and Pat and I both feel like actually Keep is one of those things that could change the world. And I think it's important to bear in mind that although it's highly unlikely you'll have an actual Keep task within the level 1 exam, it will definitely, you know, it's definitely going to be mentioned within the multiple choice in terms of different approaches, and may well be mentioned within the scenarios as well. So it's important you've got an understanding, but equally, it's really good for organizing yourself before the exam as well. Isn't that right, Pat?
Absolutely. Could put everything in there that you need, images, links, all kinds of good stuff that we're going to hit, and it is a one-stop shop for organization.
Absolutely. So we're going to, like we said, we've got hyperlinks in here. There's a bit.ly in there for you. There's also a video on the following slide, but we're going to jump straight in. So you'll be able to click on that video. And there's one more slide that we're going to have a look at. So Keep's available on the App Store, in the Play Store. It's available online as well. And you can even voice note into it. So it's really, really versatile. And we're just going to go one more slide and show you the kind of things we're going to go through today. So we're going to be looking at, and you can see these are hyperlinked, we're going to be looking at creating different keeps and different ways of doing it, adding text and checkboxes and the machine learning that goes along with it. So I'm going to do all of that side of things and collaborating, and then Pat's going to show you all the cool stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go straight ahead. If we can share my screen now, I'm going to jump in, and you can see I've got my camo ready again. And we're going to go and create a Google Meet. Now, exactly the same as all of the rest of Google Meet, you can go in, or the rest of the Google Suite, you can go in through your waffle, and you can just go to Keep here, and that will take you to Keep. You can also do that if you're in your Gmail and everything else, or you can do what we always have said, is just type in keep.google.com. And that will take you to Google Keep, okay? And it just take a little second to load for me. I think it's more because it's hot than anything else. Hopefully my cursor is nice and big and you can see it. So you can see I've got a range of different notes in here. I've got one that's colored. I've got some GIFs that are
I think we lost him. I think we lost
I was waiting
him.
to see if it froze or not.
Well, what are some things that you guys love about Keep? I mean, we can keep it going with some things that you just love. Patrick, you can talk to us about some things that you love and what you use Keep for.
I will go ahead and share my screen here and jump over, and hopefully Darren will come back and cut me off here. But some of the different things, and if you're quick, you'll catch a word there briefly. But one of the things we want to touch on is obviously the different ways to get there. Once you get to Keep, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. This is dark mode, little easy on the eyes, not as much white going on. But you'll see right at the top, you have your search box, so you can find all the different notes. When you get into the note itself, you're going to see first thing up, you can do a title. Then underneath that is where you can actually start to compose your note. Both of those are just simple text fields, so you can go ahead and just type in any of those. And then as we come through and look at more of Keep itself, you're going to see some icons that are fairly similar to other tools that you've used in the land of Google across the bottom. You have a way that you can set a reminder for different things in your Keep note. You can add collaborators, so you can use a collaborative note. A side note of, me and my wife do this with our grocery list, so it comes in handy so we don't duplicate purchases. But I also use this with other coaches in my division so that we meet with certain people and we don't duplicate those efforts as we go down through. As you slide over, you can also change colors. You can add images. Side note of, you can actually copy and paste images into Keep, so you can download them and upload them, but you can also copy and paste. Next to that, you have the archive button. So if you start to get a little bit jumbled on your home screen here, there is another way you can organize them, but perhaps you want to use the archive button to go ahead and take it off of this, but keep it saved versus deleting it. And last but not least, across the bottom here, you're going to have the more option, and that in the top part here is how you could actually add in another way to organize, and that is adding labels. So just like in Gmail, you can add multiple labels to a note if you wish. If I click on add label, it's going to show me all of those labels that I have already. And it's also going to give me the option here at the top to create another label as well. Other options you're going to have there, and this slightly tiptoes into some of the stuff that's on a later slide, but you can add a drawing if you're a little bit more artistic than I am, because I am definitely not artistic in any way, but I can do a mean stick figure if anybody is in need. And then you also have the option to do checkboxes. So if you want this to be more of a to-do list, or like I said, that grocery list or that meeting list of going out and meeting with teams or teachers, once you type in that box, you're going to go ahead and get that box that you can check off. And then once it's checked, it's actually going to save those for you as well. You can collapse that so it doesn't show the checked ones, but that way you can see all the things you've completed as well. It doesn't take them away from that screen. Something else you'll notice here on the Keep home screen is your little pin icon up here at the top. So that pin allows you to bookmark things and keep them right up here at the top so that they're not spilled down into the list of all the goodness down below. Have we had any questions roll in or anything as I've been going through? And did we happen to get Darren back yet?
Yeah, I'm back now, Pat.
Do you want to take over and roll with the rest of it on this part?
Yeah, I'm just checking. Have you gone through actually creating? Because my computer crashed in the heat, basically. So.
Yep, I just brought it up and I showed them how you would type in it and went through the icons across the bottom.
Okay,
I did not go any further than that.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple of examples then and hope that my computer lasts out. So as I said, I've got lots of different things in here that I've already saved. I've got GIFs in, which I can drag in to use as feedback for students. I've also got digital badges that I've created in Google Drawings. I've got to-do lists. I've got various other bits and pieces that I can use at any time I like. So all I'm going to do to create my first key this afternoon is just click up here on Take Note. I'm going to give it a title. This is my one annoyance with Key, is that you start create note and then you tend to have a kind of inclination to start typing and then remember afterwards that actually the title is up there. So it doesn't default to the title. So I'm just going to call this one Bootcamp Debrief. Okay, and there's some things I want to do after the debrief. So I can take a note. So I might want to ask for feedback on our session, for example, and I might also want to give feedback to others, but I also might want to get a drink because it's really hot and so on. So I can start to make a list like that, and I just came back on as Pat was talking about checkboxes. So what I can do with this is I can leave it like that, and it can just be a list as I like. I can color code it if I want, so that I might have a particular color that's specifically for me. So maybe the turquoise colors for me, and this pinkish color is for work, and I might have something else for a shared one. Okay. And if I come to the three dots here, the traffic light, I'm in the position where I can click on that, and you've got all of these drop downs, and you've got the option to show tick boxes, and that will automatically recognize that I was making a list and make them into a checkbox list. So I can just tick them off as I do it. But what I really like about this is I can now continue to add things. So I can just add a further one, and you can make your list as long as you like. And I might also give everyone a virtual hug. So you can add as many things as you like. Okay, but you can also change the order. So with the 6 dots, the little domino, you can just pick that up and you can reorder the order of your list if you're using it as a to-do list or anything like that. So you can click and drag really easily. And then when you're happy that you've done something, you can just tick it and it crosses it off and it goes into the crossed off list. So I heard Pat saying just as I came back on that he uses this as a shopping list with his wife. And I do exactly the same thing because we've got the option then of having our shopping list and then sharing it with each other. So the way I would share it is come down here to add a collaborator, and then I would just put in the email address of the other person that I want to collaborate. So I'm going to offer, actually, let's give Abid the chance because he's been a bit quiet this afternoon. I'm going to give Abid the chance to collaborate on this with me. And I can see straight away that I've given Abid the chance to collaborate because I get his profile picture pop up in the corner. So that's really, really useful. Okay. Now, Abid might decide he doesn't want his turquoise, and on his screen, he might want it orange, and that has no impact on mine whatsoever. So it doesn't matter what each other person does. But one of the things we can do, as Pat said, we can pin that so it stays at the very top, and it doesn't then move away if other things are added. But the other thing we can do, as well as adding the checkboxes, is we can also add things like labels, drawings, and we can delete the ticked items if we'd like to. So now I've crossed these off, I can say, well, I don't want those anymore, and it will take them off the list for me. So that's quite useful as well. I've also got the option here to copy it straight to Google Docs. So I've got this as a planning document, whether it's checkboxes or whether it's just text, and it could be, you know, I don't know, it might be Saturday of last week, and I might be sitting there making, for example, a limerick using Keep just because I'm sat in the car thinking, and then I might copy that to Google Docs. And what it will do for me is make a copy of my Keep note in Google Docs. So I open that up and it's automatically bullet pointed that list for me, exactly the same as my Keep was. Okay, so really useful little tool if you want to kind of plan something when you're out and about on your phone, but then you want to make it into a doc later on. Okay, so that's really useful. What you can also do is, if I'm just going to start another one for a second, if you are creating something like a shopping list, as I said, I do with my wife, and I want to make sure I use checkboxes. So I'm going to show text boxes. As I start typing, Google's AI recognizes I'm doing a shopping list and starts to help me out with it. So actually, yeah, it's I need some bread rolls and I need some milk. Yeah, I want some low-fat milk. I also need some mince. Yeah, minced beef I need. So it starts to work it all out for you. I need carrots. But I'm going to get some frozen ones this time, and it helps you out making the list. And then obviously you can share that with your partner. And the brilliant bit about it, which Pat's going to take us through later on, is then you can add reminders to that for specific times and places as well, which is incredibly useful. Okay, so I might decide now that I'm happy with my shopping list. I've added my wife to it. And whichever one of us goes and completes the shopping first can tick it all off. But what it means is we don't end up doing the same thing as, or both buying the same thing. So I also use this at work to create a to-do list across my team. So where, for example, I might say we've got tasks for the summer. Okay, we might have a list of tasks to do between 6 of us. I would probably use the tick boxes. And I might say, for example, clear up Drive as one of them, but then we might also audit our personal data and vice versa. And I can share that with my team. And then as each one of us visits the Keep, we can see what's already been done, what's been crossed off, and we know that we're not going to duplicate things. So it's really useful for people that are in a job share situation, where you can have one to-do list shared between 2 or 3 people, and everyone knows whether something's been started on by someone else or whether they need to make a start on it because it hasn't been touched yet. Okay, so it's a quite nice accompaniment to go with something like the Google Groups that Luis was showing, in terms of, particularly if you're in a team where you're all working on things and sharing tasks out amongst yourself, to make sure you're not kind of duplicating work for the sake of it. Okay, and that's pretty much it on the kind of the less snazzy side of it. And it's back over to you now, Pat, for the really cool stuff.
Awesome. If we can swap over to my screen. And before we jump in, we do have a bonus code to share with everybody. And we've both actually touched on it. The code is grocery list.
Yeah, I said shopping, didn't I?
It is close enough. So some different things on Google Keep that we can look at here. I touched on some of these a little bit briefly, and I'm going to run through a few, and then we want to make sure we leave some time for questions, because I did see a few coming in through the chat. So we're going to make sure we end in time to hit some of those questions. But one of the things I'd noted, but I didn't click on it for you, was that you could do a drawing. But notice if I click on the note first, that drawing side disappears unless I click on the 3 dots. But if I click on drawing before that, I'm going to be taken to a completely different screen in Keep. And you're going to see that I have a range of different drawing tools across the top. And one tool that has hit for some of our teachers that they really liked was the fact that you can actually come to this last button and change what the paper looks like. So you could have just plain background paper. You could actually bring it in and have almost a grid, and you could draw in the coordinate plane for things in math. You also have dots, and you even have lined paper if you need it. And then as you come down through, you have a highlighter tool. You also have a couple of different pen options and an eraser tool, and anything you would take in here, you could then would show back up in Keep for you. If I come back, I'm going to have that note. And something that's a cool feature that kind of builds onto this, number one, as Darren noted, don't forget if you're going to keep this to add a title in there. But if I come down to the 3 dots, you're going to see that even though that was a note that I just hand took, I could actually grab the image text from that, because Keep takes it from the drawing and puts it into your Keep note as an image. So if I do grab image, it's going to try and grab that. And even my fairly poor handwriting, it picked up that that was my name and went ahead and grabbed that text for me. And to show you what that looks like on a little bit different scale, here's an image I grabbed that's all about growth mindset. And I would do that same thing as far as coming down 3 dots. And then I'm going to do grab image text. And you can see this is nicely typed and it has done a spot on job. I don't see any errors in here. You will get some errors depending on how, if you take a picture and the typeface maybe is a little pixelated, things like that, you may get some issues. But if you have a fairly crisp image, it's going to come through and do a fairly spot on job for grabbing that. As we come back down through and look at a few more options in here, you'll see across Keep, obviously we've touched on a ton of the different tools that you see. We've looked at grabbing the text, but there's a few different things we want to touch on that maybe are even a little outside of Keep as well. So each one of the things in the slide deck as you get there are going to have different things that'll take you 2 pages to show you exactly how you do that. So everything we showed, it's going to give you all of those options, but we left off a few of the kind of cool things. And one of those is the different integrations you have. So I saw in the chat somebody asked about Google Docs, and you'll notice, and I know Darren touched on this, but if I come into the note and click on the 3 dots, you're going to see an option right at the bottom to copy that to Google Docs. If I click on that, it's going to automatically create a doc for me. And then it's going to allow me to just click to open that doc. And you're going to see this one had an image in it. So it's going to pull in that image into the doc. And then it should, as it did, pull in the text right underneath. And of course, then I have all of my options. I can resize the image, do everything I need to within that doc that I normally would, including, of course, sharing it as well. One thing you'll notice off to the right-hand side, you also have this panel that sits in the side of Docs. It's in Slides. It's also in Gmail. It's in Calendar as well. And some of our earlier trainings, I believe it was Ben, touched on showing tasks in that sidebar as well. Some of you might see it as collapsed. So right now, no sidebar at all after I've clicked that. But down here at the bottom right, you're going to see an option to pop that out. And then you have all of your different plugins from Calendar to Keep, and then Tasks down at the very bottom. When I'm in Keep, you can see I get essentially the exact same view that I had in the other. A couple side notes to look at in this sidebar. If I scroll down to where I have some white space here, any of these notes, I could simply click, drag it, and drop it over. And that's going to bring in everything from that list into my document. I could also start to take a note. And this really awesome thing that I like about starting to note from in a doc as well is you're going to notice right here at the bottom, it automatically flags that document into that Keep note. So as I'm taking notes, if I would come back over into Keep after going ahead and typing a few things in, make sure you title it. That note is going to automatically sync up to my Google Keep. It may take it a second here or two, but that note will come in from my doc, and I would be able to then just click back to it. And here it is right here down at the bottom, the test, and it's flagged with that document. So you can see it's very quick as far as the interface back and forth. And as I noted before, if I close this doc and I go over to Slideshow, for instance, if I pop open that sidebar, you're going to see I have Keep there, and I'm going to see that live view straight into my deck, my Keep deck that I had before. Over into Gmail, I have Keep sitting there as well. Over in the calendar, I have Keep there as well. So regardless of which app you're in, anyone that has that sidebar, you're going to be able to tap into the awesome stuff that you have in Keep. One other thing to note in the world of Keep, and I'm going to pop over to my tab here from the Chrome Web Store, is that there is a Google Keep extension. So if you get into using Keep and you're really starting to like some of the features and things that you use in it, you can go ahead and add that extension in. And then as you come to different websites and do different things, if I were, for instance, to right click on this website, you're going to see that I have save current page to keep. So that will automatically give me a keep note started. It's linked in that website for me, and I can go ahead and start taking a note on that website so that I remember, hey, I want to look at this later. I thought this thing was really cool that I wanted to check out. You also could trash it if you happen to hit that on accident. And again, if I went back to keep, it may take it a second to refresh, but you're going to see that note populate right there. And in case I wanted to take more notes, I could do that. You'll notice I may have to title it once I get in there, but I have all of those options in there for different reminders, including one that Darren touched on. If I click on the remind me, I could set an exact day and time, and I could even set an address. So if we go back to that grocery list, for instance, if you say, don't forget to get milk, and you put in a time or a location, it will come up as you're getting close to the grocery store and say, hey, don't forget to get milk. And that could be very timely and save an argument, possibly. You never know.
It's also got the potential to cause one as well. It's one of those things that I'm really excited to show other people, and now I kind of wish I wasn't, because now I'm driving past the supermarket and I just get a little message that says, oh, by the way, as soon as you're passing, can you get and it costs me a fortune.
Absolutely. It is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. So a couple of last kind of cool things here, and then we're going to make sure we get to your questions, is a few different ways that you can use Keep that are kind of outside of the normal, kind of building on that side. And one of those is this cool idea that I found on this blog that actually comes from a math teacher, but it's building a stockpile of digital stickers in Google Keep. Because again, remember, you can drag and drop from a Keep note straight into Google Docs. And I don't know if you get this as well, Darren, but even when I'm in with high school students, they still like a sticker.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see she just went into Keep and she created these stickers. So you could use something like Google Drawing that we saw touched on in the site session with creating that custom header. But you can also copy and paste those, find them on different sites. And then you basically build the stockpile and then drag and drop them in as needed. Some other ways, Casey Bell has a great blog article on different ways that you can use them, including using Google Keep to stockpile badges. And we all know Darren is awesome at creating badges. And then as we come down through, you're going to see a few more options as far as creating a library of feedback. So you could, if you have common things that you usually say in different papers, or maybe different things you usually write in emails and you might not want to use a template in email, you could use this as a stockpile of common responses with links embedded that you could drag and drop, copy and paste. Think about Bitmoji stickers. So the stickers we looked at didn't necessarily have a Bitmoji, but you could absolutely make those customized to you for your students with your Bitmoji on them. Google Keep will also accept an animated GIF. So don't think that it just has to be an image as you're thinking about different ways to use them. And I don't know about you guys, but if I would have gotten this nice GIF coming from The Walking Dead on one of my papers or assignments, I would have been pretty excited.
Yeah, my students loved it. And then what they asked to do is, but they basically wanted to come together and get a bank of 20 GIFs that they wanted me to have, and I would use them with them. So they selected the GIFs. So there was real student buy-in and voice involved in it as well, and quite a lot of creativity as well.
That's awesome. I love the idea of bringing students in to help create that resource bank. That's awesome. And going a little bit further on the feedback side, think about any kind of short things, any websites, things like that, and building that out even further. And last but not least, something that helps a lot for some people as they get a lot of notes is making some custom headers. And you can see here, these are just screenshots of literally words that could be a header for the different things that you have in Google Keep. So there's a ton of different ways to use Google Keep. And I want to make sure that I note on that all of these different ways, especially on this tab, you're not going to need to know a lot of these for the test, but we wanted to make sure that you had a wealth of ideas and really had a really great idea of how cool Google Keep is and how much you could use it for. And we touched on the extension. And in case you didn't get quite enough, there is a resource tab in that slide deck as well. And I know we're very close on time, but do we have any questions that we did not hit? And Stacy, if you want to take back over and share your screen, feel free to do so too.
There were some questions, I think, yeah. How do you add audio? I mean, some of these for sure, they're beyond, like if we're already there, they're beyond what you'll be asked on the level 1 exam. But I love that people are interested in actually using the tool, because that's really deeply what the exam is hoping to do, is have people start to use the tool. So I don't know if you briefly want to say that, or if we want to tease something later.
Audio is via the app itself. So you won't see that icon appear on the computer, but there'll be a little microphone icon on the app. And once you record it there, it'll auto sync to the computer and you have access there as well.
Yeah.
You're so good. Great job. Great job, both of you. I'll let you do your last bonus. Yeah.
Darren, do you want to explain the challenge?
Yeah, so we've the challenge isn't to try and keep my laptop cool, although in hindsight that would have been a great one. It's actually there are 150 and 25 points available, respectively, for the first, second, and third people to create a sketch in Keep, reflecting on today's bootcamp sessions, any section you like. Screenshot it and post it to Twitter using the hashtags GlobalGeg and GEG Keep. Okay, just remember that's GEG, not GAG, for anyone who still wasn't sure. The first one up is going to get 100, the second one will get 50, and the third one will get 25.
Ooh, so this is a speed challenge as well.
Yeah, really.
I like it. I like it.
Keep is all about being able to act quickly at the right time. On the move.
Well
Nice.
done. Nice
Yes.
job, despite heat. I'm very impressed, and Patrick was to the rescue, and you both were a great team together. So good job. I think there was even a code word at some point of collaboration, so it makes sense. That was some good collaboration example. Nice job. Nice job. Thank you too. Yeah, Stacy, next slide, please, if you would. Okay, and we are so excited. Are we excited, Amber?
Yes, so excited. YouTube's so cool anyways.
It is so cool. And we're super excited. I don't know if you can see it, but you might be wondering, okay, so here's Jared, but where's Ben? Oh, I found him. He's here on the computer. He's there on the computer dancing, and he's here right now. Yeah, if you didn't see it, Ben is back there dancing, probably to some awesome music on YouTube. I don't know. Do you have favorite music that you listen to on YouTube, Ben?
I'd probably say I'm sort of quite typical in this respect. I like all the pop stuff that's out. So charts music, really.
I like it. It might be a different generation to mine, but I respect it. I respect it, Ben. Ben is our youngest certified Google trainer. So some of you commented on that. He turned 20 since we met him. And Jared's claim to fame, amongst many other things, is that he had his 4th baby during boot camp. So yeah.
Right, and you probably can hear him crying in the background.
Yeah, oh my God. So much respect and love to both of you, and they're going to take it away with YouTube, right, Amber?
Yes, have some fun. I'm going to learn on this one too.
Okay, did I get it right? Is this our final session?
I think this is our final session.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Close party. Amber and I will be back at the very end, but close it out, you two. You're a great close to this.
Oh, we lost Ben. Where'd he go?
That was me. I removed him instead of me. Don't blame me. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry. Okay, bye.
So, welcome everybody. So happy to be back here with the Global GEG Bootcamp today. I'm here with my good friend Jared, who's just above me. He was meant to join us for the first boot camp, but as mentioned just a minute ago, he had his fourth baby during boot camp. So massive congratulations to Jared there.
Thank you. Thank you.
The good news is he's back today and he's here to show you how YouTube's going to work for you. So that's brilliant. So if we could just go to the next slide, please. Okay, so for those that don't know, so I'm Ben. You can find me at Training with BM on Twitter, and I'm Team GEG UK. And this is Jared. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Jared. I'm a digital learning coach in South Carolina and leader of GEG South Carolina. And I think I want to do a shout out to any South Carolinians that are in the boot camp right now, specifically to anybody from Gilbert Middle. So if you are, make yourself known and say hi. But we're very excited to bring you at least the basics of how to use YouTube for level 1.
Fantastic. So, Jared, so what do you use YouTube for?
Well, lately I have had to use YouTube for videoing how to repair a hole in my wall. So I've watched a lot of videos on that, and we'll tackle that sometime today. And then recently I bought a new kind of car wax, and when I put it on my car, it looked terrible. So I had to Google and YouTube how to put this kind of wax on my car. So I have used YouTube a lot lately. What about you, Ben?
Do you know what? It's funny you say that about waxing the car, because I did exactly the same thing on Wednesday evening. I actually waxed and polished my car, and I had to watch a YouTube video on how to do it because I did it for the first time. It looked awful as well. So I'm glad it's not just me that's had that. Just coincidence there, I think, but that's really good. So yeah, using it for for learning and for entertainment as well. So it's really for me, I really like YouTube.
I do. I have a lot of videos that I watch on there too, and kind of the cool thing, as educators, we're always trying to find authentic learning experiences for our students. And especially when our students are living in a very media-rich world, and they're also very savvy with media and video creation and video watching. I know my own children will find videos on YouTube and tell me things that they have learned, and it's pretty cool. And so as teachers, we need to be able to harness the power of YouTube as well to provide really good learning experiences for our students, whether it is through finding videos on YouTube and sharing them with our students, or creating our own, which is more of a level 2 thing, but we could be creating our own with a channel and things like that to provide content as well, especially in the pandemic world that we live in, not knowing what school's going to look like when school starts back up. It's a very good idea to kind of start getting comfortable with YouTube if you aren't already.
Couldn't agree more. So do you want to take us through the first bit of the presentation then? So we're going to look at a few different bits, and I'll take over a little bit later on. Is that how we're going to do it? Yeah?
Yep, I think that's how we'll do it. So what I need to do is I need to be able to share my screen. So let's see. I haven't.
Just go ahead and share it, and then I'll put it up there for us, Jared. It doesn't look like you're shared yet.
Okay, yeah, I just got some kind of weird warning here. Let's see. Okay, can you see it now? All right, so can you see it? Okay, good. I've lost seeing you guys now.
Yeah, you're on there, Jared. You're all good.
All right, thank you. Okay. So I'm going to cover kind of the first parts, the basics here, and then kick it back over to Ben. So when you go to YouTube, so there's a couple different ways you can go to YouTube. You can open up a new tab, go to youtube.com, or if you are in, say, your Gmail, you can in the waffle, I call it the waffle. You can click on the waffle and go to YouTube as well from there. If you're not signed in, you want to make sure that you do sign in to YouTube. And if you've never created a channel before, it may prompt you to create a channel. And usually it'll prompt you to create a channel when you go to comment or save a video to a playlist, or when you go to record a video. So if it prompts you, just follow those prompts. So what we can do here is when you are in YouTube, there is the search bar here. You can see I've been searching things here lately. But in the search bar, you're going to type in the content, the kind of video that you are looking for. So I'm just going to type in, let's see. I've lost my cursor. Where's my cursor? There we go. Looks like we're all having computer issues today.
I think it's definitely the heat. My computer fan's on constantly. I think it's definitely the heat outside today.
That's why I'm in my front room next to the router, because I didn't want anything to mess up, if at all possible. All right, so in the search box, you're going to type in the video content that you're looking for. So I'm just going to say ecology. And when you go to click search, you're going to get back your search results. And as you know, YouTube has a lot of good stuff, and it also can have some bad stuff. So, and bad stuff meaning as maybe just content you don't want to share with students, or content that's not reliable. So what you want to do is filter your search results. So once you've typed in a keyword and you search for it, you'll notice that I'm getting Facebook notifications. You will go to the filter button here, and you can see how you can filter your search results. So you can filter by upload date, the type of video, how long the video, features, and sort by. Now on the level 1 assessment, it's going to give you a situation. So it's going to say something around like Mr. GEG wants to share a video to his students using YouTube. So search for this video type, and then filter your results based on, and it will tell you how they want you to filter it. But what you can do, one of the big ones is filtering by channel or by playlist, because doing filter and playlist, I have found these gives you better results, and takes away a lot of, like, say, the neighbor kid's video on organisms living in his house. You can filter that kind of stuff out and keep it more on the educational side. So like channels dedicated to videos on ecology, or playlists that have already been created on ecology. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search by channel. So I'm going to select my channel. And so you can see here all the different channels on ecology. So that's one way, and you can go through and check those videos out if that is something you are wanting to find. And then what you can do again, if you want to vary your search results again, hit enter in the search box and then go back to filter. And then you can change the results. So if you didn't like what you saw the first time, you can go back in and change your filter for the next one. All right, so let's just say I have found a video here. I'm going to do crash course because they put out some really good videos. So I'm going to say, ooh, I want to see what this video is about. Maybe this video could match what I want to share with my kids. So I'm going to click on the video. I'm going to try to stop it from playing before it blasts everybody. And wait for my internet to slowly load the web page. Oh, it's going to give me a commercial. Yep, it is going to give me a commercial.
It's always the way.
So, I know. So let's skip the ad. There we go. And then let me hit pause again. All right, so when the video loads, as you see here, you'll watch the video. You'll decide, this video matches what I want to share with my students. So what you want to do next is create a playlist. So creating playlists, there goes another commercial. When you go to create a playlist, if you think about it, for those of you that are a lot, there we go. So those of you who are older like me and not young like Ben, you may have had collections of VHS tapes or DVDs that you kept on a shelf. So playlists, if you think about it, are kind of like the old school shelves that you would keep your videos on. And so you can organize the videos that you like by playlist. And to create a playlist, down below the video here, you have the option to save the video. So you can thumbs it up, you can thumbs it down, share, which we'll talk about later, or you can click the save button. So when you click save, this is going to bring up your playlist pop-up. You can see I have some playlists already created. So you can choose to save it to an already created playlist, or you can create a new playlist. So when you create a new playlist, you would give it a name. All right, and then you can choose the privacy of it. So if you want to keep it public, and public means that if anybody were to find your name on YouTube, they could see your playlist. So it's kind of up to you how you want to have your playlist. You can still share them with students and keep them private at the same time. So you can choose your privacy level. So you can keep your playlist public, unlisted, which anyone with a link can view, or private, which means only you can view. So I'm just going to say unlisted for now, because I do need to share it. And then I'm going to click create. So now I have my video, this video that I saved in a playlist. Now the question is, where did my playlist go? What's that?
Where was that on the screen? I'm not sure where to find that one.
I'm not sure. It just kind of disappeared on me. Well, go to the hamburger, as some people call it, or what do you call it, Ben?
I'll call it a hamburger as well.
The hamburger. I've also referred to it as the pancake stack. I'm a breakfast person, so it looks like a pancake stack, and then the waffle on the other side.
I suppose, yeah, keeping it food related, that's a good way to do it. Everyone loves food.
And then apparently I'm the oddball when I call the three little dots the snowman. So
no, the traffic lights for me, but we'll leave that discussion for another time.
That's right. That's right. So when you click the hamburger, the pancake stack, or if you just call it the menu, this is where everything lives when you're signed into YouTube. So you can go back and view your history. So if you didn't save a video to a playlist, you can go back through your history and see the videos that you have watched, your videos or videos that you've created. Watch later. So if you're in a hurry and you don't have time to create a playlist or add it to a playlist, you can actually say watch later, and then you can go back to this tab here and pull it up to watch it. And then you have your, after that, you have your playlist here. So I've created a playlist on Ben, who is a YouTube star, for Short and Sweet. So check that channel out in those videos. My playlist for the boot camp, and then I have my ecology video playlist. So what I can do is I can click on my playlist that I want to view, and it takes me to that playlist. So you can see here, I have the video, I have my title, which I can edit. So you can edit that title at any given time. You can change the privacy level of it. So if you want to make it public or private, you can do that there. And then your videos are all listed here. So if I go, let's see, let's go to the bootcamp one. That might have more videos in it. There you go. So you can see the videos that you put in the playlist will all kind of be right there in a list type view. You can add a description if you want, but you don't have to. That's all completely up to you. But when you want to go to share the playlist, you have the little arrow here that says share. You can share individual videos. So if you just want to share the video, just the link to the video, you can click share. Or when you build a playlist and you want to share that entire playlist with somebody or with your students, you would click the share button and you would click copy. And then you can paste it into an email. You can paste it into Google Classroom. Wherever you want that link to live, you can. You also have some shortcuts here, so you can post it to social media. And then you have the embed button, which Ben will go more into later, but you can actually embed the video into something else, like sites or slides or different things like that. All right, so that's creating a playlist, and you'll be asked to create a playlist on the Level 1 exam. But you might also be asked to subscribe to a channel. And I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to go here to Short and Sweet. And so when you want to subscribe to a channel, what that means is you like the channel. So the channel is putting out content that you want to continually be aware of. So instead of searching, you can say, like, instead of searching for every short and sweet video or every video that Crash Course puts out, you can subscribe to the channel, and then that way you are notified when a new video is posted, which makes life a little easier. So if it's content that you like, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see YouTubers all the time that say, like and subscribe, which I feel like saying right now, which I am kind of. So what you can do, so if you go to a video, you can go to a video and you can click the subscribe button. So if I like the videos that Short and Sweet puts out, I can click subscribe from here, the big red subscribe button. Again, I think my internet is going to be slow. There we go. So I hit subscribe, so the red button turns gray. Trying to, why is my, oh, too far. I'm having a big delay on my screen here. There we go. So when you click the red subscribe button, once you are subscribed, it turns gray, and then you have the notification bell next to it. So if you do want emails sent to you to be notified when a new video is uploaded, you can click the bell, and you can choose to be notified. So you can choose none, or you can personalize it, or for all videos there. You can also get to a channel. So let's say I like this video here, but I want to know more. What other content do they have? You can see that they have their channel picture here and the channel name here. And so what you do is you can click on that, and it will take you to their channel main page. And again, level 2, you'll learn how to create. Oh. There, gotta pop up there. There we go. Sorry about that. So when you create a YouTube channel, you'll have to kind of go through the steps, and I think that's level 2. Level 2 more type stuff. But you can see here they have their customized channel. But you can go to a channel, you can preview what videos they have on their home screen. You can see what videos they've uploaded, any playlists that they have created on their channel. And again, you can use those playlists for yourself as well. Any channels that they also subscribe to if they have that public. And then again, you can subscribe right there from that channel main page there, and the notification bell is there as well. Then on the hamburger pancake menu bar here, any channel subscriptions that you have will live here under where it says subscription. So you can see now I'm subscribed to Short and Sweet, Eric Kurtz, Google for Education, and of course, Global GEG. So if you're not subscribed to Global GEG, you better get subscribed and click that notification bell. And that's pretty much it for the basics of how to navigate YouTube, creating playlists, finding videos, using the filter, and then, excuse me, liking or subscribing to video content that you like.
Brilliant. So that's looking really good there, Jared. I think before we go to my part, I think there might be one final code word.
Is there? Ooh, what is the code word?
There we go. It's come up on the screen. Watch and learn, everybody. That's what we're asking you to do here today, and that is the code word. So make sure you put that in on the leaderboard to get your extra points. So code is watch and learn, because that's what we're doing right now. So make sure you get that.
And that's what you do on YouTube, right? That's exactly what you do on YouTube. You watch and you learn.
It's almost like we planned this in advance. Well,
it is. It really is.
I'm not going to take credit for it, but somebody did it in the background. So, so that's really good.
There are a lot more brilliant people than us in Global GEG.
I mean, there's a whole team back there doing amazing stuff. We're just the people on the screen. I mean, we don't really know what's going on, do we? But
we're the models. We're the supermodels, right?
That's it. So I'm going to take us through a few bits now. We're going to look at some video controls, how to embed YouTube videos to a Google Forms and into a slides as well. So we're just going to have a look at some of those basic features. It's not necessarily going to need those for the exam itself. I did mine recently, and I didn't have to embed into a Google Slides, but it's worth knowing how to do it. to build on your knowledge ready for level 2. So just bear with me on that, and let's have a look at that straight away. So if we could pop my screen up just for a second, if possible. Okay, brilliant. So you can see my screen here. I'm also running on the theme of short and sweet, as Jared very nicely gave us a bit of self-promotion there. So I've also opened up a short and sweet episode here from last night. So we're just going to have a quick look over the controls, what you can do with the control panel at the bottom here. So you'll see I've got a button here. So obviously how to use. And also, obviously, if you're playing a video, you can pause it from there as well. So it will change as you go through. So that's the first button. Very self-explanatory, but worth pointing out. We've also got a next button, which takes you to another video on this particular channel. So you may be on the global GEG channel right now. And your next, if you hover over your next button, you'll probably have Bootcamp Day 2 or one of our latest videos, maybe even the global GEG launch last night. So hover over that and see what you can find. It might show you the global GEG launch, which was fantastic, by the way. So if you weren't there, definitely go back and watch the presentation. It was amazing.
It was a good time.
That's it. The next thing along we've got is a volume control. So at the moment you can see I've got this muted because I'm streaming to you guys and I don't want you to have some horrible feedback. But you can turn that up or down as you want to if you're in a sort of a quiet room or there's people around you doing stuff and you don't want your computer to be really loud. You have got volume controls on your computer, obviously, but you've also got some of these in YouTube as well to give you that little bit more control over what's going on. Now you also see I've got the timer across here as well, so it shows me how far in I am out of how long the video is. So you'll see that appear just at the bottom there, which is quite nice just to give you an indication of how far through you are. Now this is the bit I really like. These settings on the right hand side. Some of these are quite underrated, I think, and some of them are actually really powerful as well, as I'm sure you'll agree, Jared. But the one I'm hovered over here, subtitles and closed captions. So this is really good. So if any of you don't know what this is already, it's effectively YouTube listens to what you're going to say, what's being said on the video, sorry, and tries to make that into text on your screen. So for viewers that maybe they can't listen at home, or they may have difficult situations at home with lots of people in the same room, but they can't really listen to the video, this will pop up the text on the screen. Now it's not perfect. I'm not going to make it sound like it's amazing. It is nearly, it's nearly perfect, I would say. I don't know if you've had any experience with this, Jared, as well, but it's nearly spot on in terms of what I've used it for anyway. It is. It's not perfect, but it will do the job if you need students that need to have that text. Definitely. So that's a really good feature just to point out if you weren't aware of it already. Now we've also got some settings here to go through, so you can decide whether you want videos to autoplay or not. I always have that on, but you can turn it off if you want to. Personal preference on that. You also have a playback speed, so as default it will set to normal, but you'll see you have lots of different options here on your playback speed. This is how fast you want the videos to play. So you can play a bit slower if you're maybe struggling to understand, or maybe for me, I think I talk quite quickly sometimes, even though I don't mean to. But you might want to go back and watch this in a slightly slower speed, so you can listen to what I'm saying. And now I've said that, I feel really conscious about it. I'm trying to speak slower, but we'll go past that. And you've also got the option to go with custom speed up here as well. So again, lots of different options on there for you. And you've got subtitles and closed captions here already. So for me, it would show as English as a standard default, but you have got options to go in. And I believe, maybe I'm looking a bit silly here, but I suppose it will go to your default language of your computer, I suppose. But there's different things here. You can change the font colors, sizes, background colors, etc. So you see plenty of options there to play around with. And we've also got the quality. So I have mine set to auto, but if you're on a weak internet connection, like probably, I definitely am. But you can lower that quality so it doesn't use as much bandwidth on your computer. So that's just a few of the settings there. And you've got a few other things here like mini player, which just drops it into a little box Here's a little pop-up window, I suppose. So you can do your things on your computer. You can go to other tabs. So I might want to go, scroll through YouTube, and go to other things and look for other information. But I've still got that playing in the bottom corner there. So that's really cool as well. And this last two here, you can play on a TV, so you can stream directly out to a Chromecast or an Apple TV or any other streaming devices that you're using at home. You can stream using that there. Obviously, you have the full screen as well. So this is just looking at some of your basic controls you have in control section. So now I'm going to move it on slightly to have a look at embedding into a Google Slides. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. Now, different ways to do it. You can use an embed code or a URL or search from slides directly. So I'm going to show you those ways now. So I'm just going to go straight into my slide deck here. So this is a slide deck that we're going through now. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not going to go over anything we haven't yet gone through. So you can see on this slide here, I've got my title. Maybe I'd like to add a video to this. So let's watch and learn, using that code word again. Let's watch and learn and see how we're going to do that. So we're going to navigate.
We are all watching and ready to learn.
That's it. I couldn't help myself there. I couldn't resist. But we're going to go to the insert button on this top navigation bar here. And we're going to go to video. So once I click on video there, it will give me a pop-up box. Now I can search directly in YouTube for a video. So maybe I want to, I'm going to try and type this in now and see if it gives it to me. Put some of it in, see if it pops up. You can search directly through YouTube there. There you go. It'll pick up straight away. So I can see from typing in, effectively that's like your search on YouTube, but within Google Slides. It's all embedded quite nicely and in a tidy way. So as soon as I've found the video I like, so I've decided I quite like this short and sweet one here. I'm going to click on that, which will give me the blue outline, so I know that's selected. And I can click select at the bottom here. Now that will drop into my slide just like this. Now I'm not going to go through too much about the different settings, because I know that was in last week's bootcamp day 2. I know that our presenters going through Google Slides went through this. I think it was Darren actually who went through it. So I don't want to sort of go over his knowledge because he knows it better than me. But you can just see how that will pull through from searching on YouTube there, and I can move it around anywhere I want. Now let's look at another way to add it. So again, we're going to go to our insert button and go to video again. Now I have the option here to paste using a URL. So how would I get a URL? I hear you ask. So I'm going to go back to my video, and you'll see up in my Omni box here, I can click on that, and that's my URL. So I could just copy that there, or I could click on the share button down here underneath the video and click on this copy button here, which Jared showed us earlier. So I can actually copy that link directly from there or from my Omni box at the top. So 2 different ways you can do that.
And if I may interject,
Ben, please.
Just an experience in with district settings and things like that. I know sometimes depending on how your district has your YouTube configured for your domain, when you want to copy the URL, it's sometimes better to copy the whole URL in the Omni box, because if you do the short link when you go to share under the video, depending on how your district settings are, sometimes the short links don't work when you try to put them in Google Slides. Just talking from experience.
No, definitely. I mean, for my domain, my district or domain, I have access to both of those, but it is worth noting, you can have different different restrictions put on there. So you can grab the link from either one of those, and you can hop back in here and just paste it in. Now, if you're using Windows or Chromebook, Control and V, or if you're using Mac, it's Command and V. So drop a little keyboard shortcut in there for you as well. And once you're ready, make sure it's the right video, select it, and it will pop in the same way as it did before. So 2 different ways you can go about bringing that video into Google Slides. So that can be really powerful if you're going to deliver some content to your students and want them to see a particular video, but you don't want them to leave your presentation. So just worth noting there as well. So next thing we're going to have a look at is Google Forms, and where we're sort of we are going to run up to time shortly. So I'll try and get through this and try and get some questions in at the end as well. But we're just going to go into Google Forms now and show you that. So apologies for this Google form being really bland and simple. I'll be honest, it was very last minute. Don't tell Stephanie how. It was very last minute. So I'm just going to show you how to embed a YouTube video into a Google form, which can be really powerful if you're doing maybe an end of term assessment or you're doing, you know, a self-marking quiz, but have a YouTube video for the student. Oh no, I'm back. Sorry, my screen disappeared there for a second. So
you cut out there, at least for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Oh, I blame that on the internet. That's it's the heat. Blame everything on the heat.
Yes.
So as you can see here, I've just got a demo question. It is purely for demo for the time being. I'm just going to make that a short answer as well. But you can see on the right hand side here from last week's demo, we have this navigation bar, and you see this this screen with a play button in. So that's our add video section. So we can just click on this add video, and you'll see the same screen pop up as in Google Slides. So once you've learned how to do this once, it's the same all the way across. So, you know, it's unison. Once you've done it once, the user interface is familiar, and you don't have to, you know, learn different things with different platforms. So again, I could search in here if I wanted to. Make sure I type in the right thing though. In-depth look. There we go. And again, I can select that and drop it straight into my Google form. Now, it will appear as a separate tab compared to your question, but you can put that in and just say, for example, please watch this before answering the question. There we go. And using our little domino effect here, we can hover over and drag it around where we want. So that's just one way we can do it. And the second way, go on, Jared. You're going to jump in.
I was just going to say, you know, as you get more comfortable with YouTube and maybe you're creating your own content and you're delivering lessons virtually through YouTube, this is a great way to, you know, post your content like you're teaching, direct instruction to this, and then have the kids answer questions to demonstrate their own learning as well.
Definitely. I think that's really important as well, because if you're doing that self-instruction, it's more personalized to your students. They're going to really appreciate hearing and seeing you, seeing you on the screen. They probably haven't seen you in a long time. That will, for them, that's a huge thing, and they'd really appreciate it. So if you haven't yet done that, I'd definitely recommend giving it a go. My students have really enjoyed seeing some of the teachers back on the screens, and don't get me wrong, it's very nervous, but you're very worried about putting yourself out there. But don't go back and edit things loads of times. Be you. How you would be in the classroom is who they want to see. If you make mistakes and do silly things, that's the same thing you do in the classroom. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there and do that, because your students will really appreciate it.
Oh yes,
definitely. So just the last thing then here. So we're just going to add a video again, and you can do the same thing by hitting in your URL, which we'd copy from any YouTube video we wanted to. Obviously, I've already got this one copied at the moment from.
Shameless plug.
Sorry?
I said shameless plug.
That's it. So again, you can just select that and put it in here, just the same as that, and it will appear in the same way. So you've got options of either searching YouTube directly from Google Slides and Forms, or going back and copying the URL from either the share button or the Omni box as well. So lots of different ways you can put those in there. So can we put the slides back up if possible, please, Stacey? Thank you.
It's magic. Oh, whoa.
We got a second code word here.
Oh no.
You do. We didn't see it. We didn't see it. It was blank. So this is a code word for ours, but you're welcome to take it.
I mean, yeah, I didn't think we had this one, but I mean, everyone can see it now, so you've kind of revealed it a bit too early.
Well, it's okay. It's
I love
okay.
the dancing though, and Amber, that
Thank
really
you.
looks like you as well. I like that.
We practiced. We practiced the dancing.
That's it.
Yeah, we did all that in our bedrooms.
So we've got some bonus points to give away as well, like everybody else. And this, we are the final group of the level 1 boot camp. So this is the final set of points from a challenge point of view here. So as you can see on the screen there, so it says find and subscribe to Global find a video like this to a new playlist and set the privacy to private. Edit that description, so put in why you like that video, and then take a screenshot, post on Twitter, and tag in the hashtag GEG YouTube. That's GEG, not GAG. Just for the last time, for anyone that's still confused, GEG YouTube and Global GEG, and tag both me and Jared, and we'll give you 25 points for doing that. So make sure you get on that, and we look forward to seeing some of your favorite videos from the Global GEG's YouTube channel.
I love it. Love it. Great job. Great job.
Nice job. Now get some fresh air, Ben. It's a little hot where you are.
Yeah. And Jared, you can go hug a baby, I'm sure.
All your babies.
For sure.
That'll be the new trend on Twitter. Hug a baby. Okay.
I'm still waiting for the onesies. So just
we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on that.
Definitely the next set of orders. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Yes. Okay. Oh, this was our favorite, so we put it at the end.
So good. So good. These dance moves, I mean, I got dance moves like these, but only
I can do them for real. Bonnie is a witness.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. And so is Judy. Okay, so so our code word for this for the very end here is I still don't know. And if that's you and you still don't know, if you feel that way, come to office hours on Monday. It'll be the last of our office hours for this set of this boot camp series for level 1. Don't worry, we have a level 2 coming as well. But the code is I still don't know. All right, take it away, Stacy. Even though I want those dancers there forever.
No, we're just going to remind you again about the practice questions. They are scenario kind of questions. Some of them, they are choose 2, choose 3. We kind of mentioned that last time, but just so you guys know, that link right there in the corner is going to be where you can get those practice questions on quizzes. So
yeah, we had a few questions about that the last time, so we wanted to make sure it's here. It's here in the slide deck. That's how you can get to it, and the bit.lys down below. Go right ahead, Amber. I'm sorry.
Sure, it's in there for you.
And then we also had a lot of love around these cards the last time. So if you're wondering about that, when you have this slide deck, this is a slide deck where you can actually click on it. So you'll click on it and it will take you to these cards to practice. So please just know that these are here for you. And that's what we've been using actually to create some of our scenarios and adding 2 decks. So these will help you. I actually physically have these cards printed out. Judy Kim worked with me on that when she came and visited all the way from South Korea to my school. And we used them to practice with my teachers and with my own students. And so I sat there and like the first round, I gave out green cards and we practiced with the easiest level, what's considered the easiest level. And so on one side, it has a question, and on the back, it guides you through the step-by-step guide of what you would need to actually do it. And I usually, like for me, the way that I do it for myself is I take a couple at a time, I do them, and then I see which ones were the challenge ones for me. Which ones do I need to re-practice? And I put them in a separate pile. Which ones do I know that I know? And I put them in ones like, I'm good with those. And then that's how I separate those out. You don't physically have to print them out, but for me, that I start to tag those, maybe even using Google Keep. There's a way to think about how do I figure out what don't I know yet and what do I want to learn.
Right. Nice.
And then I think there's more. There we go. Take it away.
All right. You are on the final boot camp day and you have all the knowledge now, so you can sign up for your test. So you better get there. If you sign up on the system criterion, then you have 7 days once you sign up to take the test, once they send you the information. So make sure you get on there and sign up. If you're going to take it on ProctorU, you also have 2 options on there. You can schedule it for a certain date, or you can do it on demand. So just know whatever system you want to use, you can do on demand with one. The other one, you got to wait a little bit, but you have the same exact options on both now from the updates on the test. You have open note, open internet for each test, so you have no problem with being able to look up the information if you need to. ProctorU is watching you on the screen the whole time, but they are aware of those rules now too, so nothing will be flagged for that. So just make sure you know both systems, same thing, just your personal preference.
And if you're having trouble still with how to sign up, that piece where it said how to schedule it, there are some awesome videos that Victor put together. He is from the Philippines, and those are on our bootcamp website as well. So you can watch those, and that's more of a step-by-step guide for the sign up process if you need help with that as well.
Great.
Thank you, Stacy, for going back. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, if you have more questions, we've been documenting questions. Our awesome whole group of global GEGers and GEG leaders have been documenting questions as they've been coming in and answering them, as well as doing that during our bootcamp Q&A sessions that are every Monday. So for those workshop sessions where you've been coming back, our office hours, as we call them, everything that we've previously been asked is in this document, and we keep adding to it. So if you want to figure out, is my question something that lots of people have already been asking, and you want to know the answer before even coming, you can search there, right? So you can search in that doc. It's a Google Doc like any other. And so you can search, you can use your Command F if you're on my screen or my Mac here, and you can be looking, and then it'll bring up a search, and you can search within the doc for any keywords or things that you're looking for. And then if you have questions to submit before Monday, and you want us to be able to get a chance to look at them before that live Q&A, go ahead and go to this bit.ly, and that'll take you to where you can submit questions.
Yes.
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 Oh, yeah. What should we do? What's the task, Amber? Oh, my gosh. It's 500 points. Let me repeat.
That's a lot of points.
100 points. Okay.
500 points. Okay. Task is, let us know when you pass the level 1 test. We want to shout you out. We want to be able to celebrate you after all of this hard work that you've been doing. We know these sessions are long. We know this is a lot of information, but we want to be sure that you guys are prepared as much as you can for these tests. So share it out, spread the love, tell us when you pass it, because we're going to share in that love with you.
Yay. Okay. Oh, and we have some more before this feedback, but we would love your feedback as well. If some of you are wondering how to get your certificate, so if you're coming here, you're getting some professional development hours, you're earning it for credit. To get your certificate, you'll need to fill out this feedback form. Otherwise, it won't get emailed to you. If you forgot to do that for any of the previous days, you can go back and do those for any of the previous days as well. And that's how you get it. So if you type something in there, that's the way it gets automatically sent to you. If something was a mistype or you put the wrong email, that might be why you're not getting it. So double check on that before you click it, because you're in control on that one. And whatever you want it to say on that is whatever you have typed in. And then I know that there's a lot in terms of the leaderboard. So we will be in contact with people after this. We will make sure to message you. We'll probably be doing that over Twitter as well. I think we have an awesome video to end this that Darren's going to push.
I have some other things, though.
We have some other stuff. Yeah. So we're going to get there. Don't worry. Okay. Yes, Amber.
I have some amazing virtual hug badges that we're going to give out. We gave out some ones last time, and we want to make sure that we give them out again this time. And there is a nomination form that we'll get put in the chat or put somewhere for you guys to nominate people for virtual hugs. But we have 5 people today that we're giving virtual hugs to, so you're going to be getting those badges. So here it is. Drum roll, please. Okay, here we go. First one. Christopher Bradley. Bradley, nice work. He is an Army vet, I hear, so that's exciting.
That's awesome.
We have Ferda. I'm not going to attempt your last name, Ferda, just because I don't want to butcher it, but you know who you are. Okay.
She is amazing. She's local to me. Yeah.
So cool. And then Dina Hassan. Dina Hassan has been doing some great, amazing work.
Fire.
With us. Fire. And I love this next one, Michelle Lewis. She has the kindest words. Like, she is the coolest person when it comes to being able to give you that boost of confidence. So Michelle Lewis. And last and certainly not least, we have Lisa Treen. Lisa Treen, you are a winner of our virtual badge. We love you all, and you are, of course, all more than a member to us.
Yay, more than a member. And there's tons of things that are up here on our slide deck. So if you ever want to come on here and lead an event, here's where you would go. If you want to help, if you want to present, if you want to suggest something, if you know somebody who should do that and you want to nudge them, this is a great way to do that and connect with us. All of these are being put on by all different volunteers, and we would love to have more and more faces join that. And our next one, Stacy, is another opportunity. This is tomorrow. So we have our Googlers of the Roundtable. We played it yesterday. It's an amazing video. So this is a roundtable discussion. And please join. It's the first one that's going to be tomorrow. So first discussion is tomorrow, and I believe it's all on badging. And so, but it's everyone's welcome. It'll be on YouTube Live, just like this, but 6 people will be coming together around a table, so to speak, virtually, and they'll be discussing, and there'll be a different topic each month. There'll possibly be something coming out on Twitter, I think today, maybe. I'm waiting for Stacy's head to nod. Yes, that should help them to know people's thoughts prior to going into this roundtable discussion. So we cannot wait for this first one. It's going to launch a whole series that'll come out monthly, and it's going to be a great first start. I hear there might even be some costumes, but I don't want to spoil the joy. But please come, if for nothing else, but to see that. Please come.
Yes. We also have some amazing trainings coming up, and we have a boot camp level 2. What? So we are going to be having My Pencil Made Me Do It, the sketchnoting, and that's going to be July 2nd. Don't miss that. It's going to be super great. We also have the boot camp 2, so preparing you for level 2. We're only doing 2 days with this one because we feel like we've hit a bunch of content in these last 3 Fridays. And so the 24th and the 27th of July is when we're having boot camp 2. Lots of us are switching up roles, doing some more different things. We have new members joining us, so you'll have new people.
Yes, you'll see new people starting it off for you here. It'll be so great. Lots of new faces and people from all over that are coming to you. We tried to do some reaching out to make sure that we had all of people who have been joining Global GEG. We wanted to give them some opportunities too. So yeah, we're excited to bring you level 2. It's going to be on a Friday and then a Monday. So there's no office hours for that one. But if you have questions throughout, they'll be taking them throughout those sessions. And again, it'll build on this. So if you're here and you need to review, you've got a little bit of time, but you'll want to review level 1 to feel ready, because they'll build on it as if you have taken this, and then they'll keep going from there.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw something Abid had just told us, but not to forget about the It Just Works Twitter chat.
Oh, we can't forget. Oh, yes, we cannot
don't forget about that. That's coming up. It Just Works Twitter chat with Abid and all of us. We're going to be working on that. So
and his big event, it'll be in July. But yes, we're getting some build up to that event. So please, hashtag IT Just Works. So it's It Just Works. Okay.
So follow us on Twitter, follow us everywhere, Facebook, all those places that we are, because we would love to have you. We are all over the internet and social media, and we cannot wait to see all of your amazing tests that you've passed.
Yes, I can't wait. I know one thing we were talking about that we were so sad. I was like, I don't have a graduation cap and a tassel. Like, I wanted to do a whole thing, you know.
I need
move it. I'm doing it the wrong way, probably. I don't know. I forget. It's been a while. Yeah.
Right.
So, but I think we're closing with a video, aren't we, Darren? Are we closing with a video? So I'm waiting for you to take us over, unless I'm clicking it, Darren.
I don't see Darren, so I think we're going to have to click it.
It's us. Okay, so I'm going to guess it's the one entitled Bootcamp Graduation.
Yep, you got it.
I'm right. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Is everybody ready for the video? Oh, wait, that wasn't a good drum roll. Hold on. I have to redo it. It's the last day.
Are you?
too. Oh, that was the best ending. Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending.
Yeah, and thank you all for attending so much. We'll officially close with our outro, and then we'll log this off. But hopefully, we'll see many of you Monday, and we'll continue the party through level 2.
I'll be there Monday for office hours, so come and see me.
Yeah, thank you all for attending.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.